Good morning, good evening, good night. Of course, we're not saying good night, but good to have everybody in here. What is going on? All the usual suspects. Glad to have you in there as usual. It is New Year's Eve already, folks. Man, this year flew by. Let's see. Make sure the audio is working. Seems to be doing okay. Let's see. Oh, What's up? What is going on, everyone here? What is happening? Make sure again this is working. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me make sure this is right. What is happening? Oh, my top hat. Oh. Let me see. Move this over. So what is happening, folks? What is going on? Happy New Year to everyone out there. Hope all your family is going to do well. I'm hoping for a healthy and prosperous New Year's for everybody out here. God knows we can use a better New Year, couldn't we? Last 2 years, garbage. Completely garbage. Not always. I mean, it wasn't completely bad. We all know that. But with everything going on, I'm just hoping that is at some point in the very near future, it's going to be see ya. So, and I'm sure you guys all agree with me. I mean, it's COVID BS and all this other crap. Yeah, it just needs to go. Need some kind of normalcy. We need to be able to get back to life, basically, right? So, good to have everybody in there. As always, Tony Gibbs, Daniel Lee, Awakened Souls, Mimi Reacts, 333 or 333. Bonjour, what's going on? Let's see. Mr. Mike Knapp's in there. Zandragon, what's happening? Good to see you in there. I actually did get your message, I believe. You read them? I got them. I'll have to go back and check. Maybe I didn't read them all. Like I said, Mimi's in there. John McDonald's in there. I don't know why I gotta move this thing a hair bit closer here. So excuse me for that. Oh yeah. Samantha Morris is in there. What's going on, Samantha? Good to have you in there. Renee Cruz is in there. Kurt Urbanus is in there. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Got that old sign going on. Oh, Spock, live long and prosper. Oh yeah. Flowers 1948 says peace, good health, and prosperity in the new year to Chris and the family and all of the great folks here. Well, I appreciate it there, and same back to you. I was actually just on the phone before I jumped in here. Some people getting together, some friends and stuff getting together for later on this evening. We'll be doing the same thing, we'll be joining them. What better way than just, welcome in the New Year's, right? Get away from all the normal hustle and bustle, get together with some family and friends. Pete Ferrero, what's going on? Good to have you in there. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. Different fires and stuff like that. You were just talking about another fires in Colorado, 600 homes have been. Man, that's sad. Elaine Millard, what's going on? Good to have you in there. I said Happy New Year's and Happy New Year to those already in 20. Yeah, which is true. This is the reason why I got the hat on, because people are going, probably some of you might be going, 2022? We're not in 2022 yet. But there are some folks around the world that are, so, and plus, it's to welcome it in, right? Limey Watcher, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Tony Gibbs is in there. Claire Meads in there. What's going on, Claire? Eric Gowa's in there. What's going on? He said, hey, happy COVID New Year. It's hit my house hard, but glad you're here. Well, I hope everybody, gets through it with no problem. It can be tough, but like a lot of people I know, including my wife and my son, they had it mild, so it wasn't too bad. Obviously inconvenient, and it can make you feel like crap, but just be careful it doesn't get worse and worse, because, yeah, it's not usually a good thing, right? Excuse me. BMX for me, K says, hi, new to your channel. I saw last year's video on the moon mining. I totally believe that. Well, I want to say welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you in there. I hope you subbed. which is really weird. And I'm glad anybody else who's new here watching this, thank you for being here. Because I was just saying, and guys, we made the 65,000th mark, and I'm like, yes! I think this is like yesterday. I look again, there's like 200 more. I'm like, somebody must have said something on their channel, and somehow people came here. Now, I did get a share of, you know, people, you know, like, and I don't know if she's here yet, Miss Heard, but was going back and forth with a flat earther. Yeah. But, you know, you get your share of people that are bad-mouthing you and, you know, don't believe this and don't believe that. And listen, they're free to believe whatever they want, right? It is what it is. But don't come to my channel trying to stuff it down my throat. That's not going to happen. And you try to be as nice as you can to these folks, you know. And I'm not talking about the good folks who probably just recently came here and subbed. I appreciate you all. Trust me on that. I'm saying as far as the people that are just coming here just to troll. And but it's a given. You know what I mean? You really can't do much about it. But I want to welcome anybody here who's new to the channel. So thank you for joining us. And I appreciate you being here. Like I said, I hope you all subbed. Speaking of Subway. And no, I'm not getting paid to endorse this. Oh. Yeah, so it's just awesome. Like I said, sometimes you get, sometimes the channel will badmouth and you still get a bunch of subs. So I don't know how they win in that part, but I don't know who mentioned the channel. But I'm, you know, either way, I'm glad to have everybody, all the newcomers aboard as I do all my other subs. We're a great bunch of people here. And if you're into this kind of thing where you believe you've been lied to by NASA and all that, and you know there's much more out there than what we are here, meaning just here on Earth, then you're welcome here. You know, we try to bring out the stuff in these photos, whether it be our moon, you know, even on Earth, we have Antarctica photos as well, in videos rather. And plus the moon and other moons in our solar system and Mars and everything else. So we try to make heads or tails of what we're finding in these photos, because you know the definition of anomalous means something that stands out from its surroundings. So, and that's what we'll pick out. Now, most of the time we'll say, this is what we believe it to be, although it's not etched in stone, and I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. At the end of the video, you'll hear me say, it's all up to you guys. You guys make your own decisions. You know, drop your thoughts below. So, because I want to hear, because I'm learning too. I'm on a learning curve just like everybody else is. I'm just simply trying to find the truth, even if it's bits and pieces of it. And by the way, wait till you guys see the newest, you know, moon photo coming up. It actually blew my mind. I've seen this photo a million times until I started to really get into this. I looked at one of these craters. I went, you got to be kidding me. Wait until you see the way they camouflage this. Remember I told you lighted areas, darker areas? Oh, wait until you see this. This is funny. But absolutely cool in another way. I'm trying to remember because there was two videos I'm going to be doing. I don't know if it's the Aristarchus crater. I'm not going to remember the other one either. But either way, wait until you see them. They're cool. And it's just awesome. Just further proof that there's other beings other than us out there. Imagine that. Let me see. This thing jumped on me here. I'm going to try to... Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Samantha, Morris, and of course your family. Robert Morgan's in there. Oh, did he really? Okay. You said Robert Morgan. You said I didn't get to see the Mars video. Goof on. Okay. Radio sampled your latest Apollo 8 video last night. See, now you'll get, I mean, if you're talking about Rich, he's skeptical like I am, right? And I like the guy. He reminds me of me. I like Rich a lot. But it's like most things. You have to analyze these photos, right? Because I know he looked at one of my other moons and he said he didn't see it. And that's fine. Because you won't always see that. I look at some people's photos and videos and I go, I'm not quite seeing it. That doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you just got to look into the photo a little bit more. If you understand how they're actually manipulating and obfuscating and trying to overlay, it all comes a lot clearer to you and you can see it a lot easier because then you know what to look for and focus your eyes on. It's not about what I'm saying, it's about your own eyes focusing so you can see for yourself whether the stuff is the real deal or not, right? So, and like I said, I'll say this like I say all the time, it's pure speculation. We can only say what we believe it to be. Believe it to be. Doesn't mean that it is, right? So, As long as people understand that, that's, I find these things and go, wow. And I make a video out of it and bring it to you folks. Pretty simple, right? We try not to beat anything down anybody's throat. That's not cool. I don't believe in that stuff. Renee Cruz says, sick party hat. You like that, huh? I was going to wear these. Where the heck are they? My wife got these little silly little glasses you can get all the time. See these? I'm like, no, I'm not going to wear that. Besides, it actually goes with my shirt. What do you think? Oh, yeah. So, that's what we basically do on the channel anyway. So, like I said, Hope L, he says, hello. What's going on, Hope? Good to have you in there. QP Rally, what's going on? He says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and yours. Like I said, folks, I don't know about you, but I'm just so over this last year and the year before. Not that me or everybody I knew was in bad shape or any of this. Of course, I did have COVID and I was in the hospital, but we prevailed and everything worked out fine. I'm thankful. And I still, doing my exercise long before I even got sick, I was doing that. But I'm actually better than I was prior. But that doesn't mean you don't have like lasting little tidbits of things that could happen during COVID. You actually have sometimes what they call a long-lasting kind of COVID, situations, whether it be some people have like headaches for a long time. Some people have a little bit of problem breathing. Some people have, different things, still ailments as far as I'm concerned, after COVID. So you got to be really careful with it, right? So it can be pretty dangerous. Ron Hammer, what's going on? I said, happy 2022, Chris. Keep up the great stuff. Well, I appreciate it, dear Ron, and thank you. And like I said, we're gonna keep rocking it. I mean, nothing's gonna change. I mean, we're gonna change a couple things up, but for instance, like in the community page, from now on, and you guys can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you prefer. What we're gonna do is after I do a video, I'm gonna take the enhanced photo. I'm gonna put it in the community area so you can grab the photo yourself and look at it yourself. I'm not sure whether you could just simply click on it and look at it or whatever, but you can grab it for yourself and check it out. What is this going on now? Somebody was just talking about the Black Vault. Let's see. Let's see. This is huge. Although not guaranteed to get anything yet, the Navy Office of Judge Advocate General agreed with my FOIA appeal that not all UFO cases should be denied to me based on national security. Next week, the review starts again. That's a huge win. I don't know about that because I still deny it. Remember I showed you folks that when they did a FOIA kind of thing, it's basically an Information Act, and what they did was they said, yeah, we'll give you the information. Oh, by the way, but these kind of things are exempt from it because it's classified. It's like, seriously? So basically they're saying, yeah, you can go ahead and ask for the information, but it doesn't mean we're going to give it to you. So how well is that working? I just don't see it, right? They'll probably still throw crap at them and just say, yeah, we'll give you the information. Don't worry about nothing. And then what they'll do is they'll turn around and just keep blacking it out or whatever they'll do, right? Mike, it's funny. Mike Knapp, you're talking to Tony. He said, my missus and daughter have been jabbed and caught it. Haven't been jabbed and COVID-free. Yeah, I mean, I got it. I never got the jab. But the thing is, it's like, but now I have the antibodies to it. Now, of course, you hear mixed BS about it, like, oh, it's not going to last. Sure it will. Of course it will. It's kind of like people who've gotten chickenpox vaccines and all kinds of other ones where, they're now 40 years later and they still haven't had chickenpox. Of course, it's not like it's the biggest thing around, but regardless of the fact, you still take precautions regardless, right? Because you can still get it no matter what. But, it's a fact that anybody who has had it and they're more protected against COVID or these other little strains within a certain degree compared to the people who had the jab. You just have more antibodies. But you still don't take the chance. You just go, I'm Superman now. I can go out. No, that's not what that means. It just means you got to be still cautious. But whatever. To me, it was a giant failure, these vaccines, and they're going to continue to be. They're just going to say, you just need the extra jab until we finally get it right. I mean, what I meant to say was we're going to have to get this fourth jab so you're protected. But you know what I mean. It's just another way of saying we failed miserably, but we're still trying to find the right cure. Zandragon, he said, not festive for everyone, not me. Mom's still living in my truck, hoping to get back. Oh, yeah, you saying, not me. Still living in the back. Well, I hope it works out for you. I did get I just got it just before, I think, yeah, I don't think it was like 10 minutes prior to this. So just do the best you can, man. I think you said you even got, I think it was a disability or whatever. If I'm talking about the same person, I believe it is. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. You'll get there. Sometimes it's a long road and it sucks. You will get there. You'll prevail. I promise. And this year will be your year. You'll be okay. So, just one step at a time. That's what it takes. You can't, I mean, we'd love to have it all just like that. Doesn't always work that way. You know that, right? So just be patient. That's all you can do, right? Mimi Rag said, I really like the background. Yeah, it is pretty cool. New York. So really, really pretty. It's like, well, hold on. Let me just touch that bridge. Oh. Gerda Bonner says, Chris, you had to be wearing that Uncle Sam outfit. Well, not so much the Uncle Sam. It's not the, stars and stripes. But feeling festive, not too bad. Being optimistic for the new year. I'm sure everybody else is, because like I said, last year was trash. And so wasn't the year before when all this went down. Tony Gibbs, you said last Mars pick was amazing. I used your link since I have time. I scanned that picture and found so much stuff. The star shape, not a close on spot on die. Oh, okay, yeah. A close on a spot on die cut. Yeah, I mean, the thing is when you really analyze these things, oh my God, it's crazy to some of the stuff you really see in these. I think the people who don't see them is the ones that just kind of peruse over them real quick. Just like, I don't see what he's saying there, whatever. And you can't do that. You literally got to analyze these photos like we've done so many times, whether it be with gigapans, regular photos. If you just peruse over them quickly, never going to see this stuff. And that's why people need to be more scrutinizing of these, whether moon photos, Mars photos, whatever it may be, just be more scrutinizing it. That's what it comes down to. And that's the only difference between a lot of people that actually do these and the ones that don't. They're simply looking at the photos going, I don't see it. Check it out a little bit more deeper. I promise it's there. I'm going to jump all the way down to the bottom here. Tony P, I appreciate that. You said, Chris, when I comment on other channels, I always give you a shout out. Well, I appreciate that, brother. I really do. I'm going to try to move down, but I know it's going to happen. It's going to go, and it's going to right to the bottom anyway. Try to move it a little bit at a time. Michael Kadurka, what's going on? I'm hungry now. I hope that wasn't because of me. Hope Ellie said I had a fever for like 3 days, just slept it off and took Tylenol, drank some tea. Thank goodness I feel way better. Came out negative for COVID and never gotten the vaccine. Just hope everyone feels better. Yeah, I mean, I feel for people because I had it. You know what I mean? So I know what it feels like to go through it. Like I said a couple of times before, I think it was a couple Hangouts prior, is that there's a friend of mine telling me that he knew a guy that literally has to have 2 lung transplants because of this now. So it's nothing to play with. I mean, it's absolutely serious stuff, right? You just can't mess around with it. Now, most people will get maybe a mild case, maybe, whatever it may be, and that's pretty much it, right? But then sometimes not so much. BMX for me K says, yeah, a lot of helium-3 on the moon. Well, that's what we were talking about. There's somebody else that was actually going back and forth with me. I guess he's a naysayer and basically trying to be argumentative more than just having a friendly debate, because I don't have a problem with friendly debates, but I just pretty much cut him off because he's getting sarcastic and just being not debatable, let's put it that way. So I just said, whatever. I mean, I can't do that. If you want to, I mean, and pretty much they wrote like this 1.5 pages of crap. I don't have time for that. I don't mind everybody's comments, but literally this one, it was not only condescending, it was being a jerk, basically. They wrote this 1.5 books on really? So it's like trying to stuff your opinion down their throat, and they're being very assuming, and they just don't have a clue. They're saying, well, I've been in, whatever, one of the armed forces for X amount of years, and, he's going on and on about China, how they're going to the moon because they're getting I guess they're going to use some kind of reactors and it's going to use helium-3, so that's why they're going there. I went, so my brother was in the Air Force for 13 years. Doesn't mean he was aware of every top secret COVID operation going on in the Air Force or in the armed forces. Nothing but respect for anybody who's been in the service. Much love to everybody. But there's people that are very knowledgeable because they were much higher up and had clearances, and some people who did not. So my brother was an Air Force mechanic, so he pretty much knew A-10 Warthogs and all these other jets. And I was around these things plenty of times myself, being he worked on the base. So really, really cool. But you don't make assumptions that they said, well, chances are they wouldn't. He was talking about aliens and he's saying that chances are they have lower technology, or we have lower technology than them. Well, how do you know that? We don't know that. There could be a planet not far from us that is pretty much in the same boat, technologically speaking, that are not really advanced. They could be around, maybe they're even older than we are. They're just starting out. How do we know that? They make assumptions. It's like, please don't do that. We can analyze everything from every situation or every, side and try to make heads or tails out of it, but I don't assume anything. I've got my opinions and I've got, ideas, more ideas, because that's what you're trying to share, right? But to just automatically assume, what that means, right? Yeah. Awakened Souls, what's going on? You said, I'm back. Hi, Chris. Hi, Joe. 786 Auto. Hope no one from Louisville. Big fire there. Yeah, I know. I've been hearing about this. And by the way, 786 Auto, I want to thank you for supporting the channel. I know you went through, what do you call it, PayPal, and I do appreciate you big time. And I thank you for the gift, by the way. I just wanted to add that. I'm glad you showed up. Well, you usually do anyway. But big thank you to, by the way. So, I don't know. Michael, Corpus Christi, Texas. I don't know about the healthiest, but the fat is. Yeek. Now, trust me, they say that, I think it was either Louisiana or West Virginia was the fattest states in the country. This is going back a couple years ago. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's not good if we are. Now, I'm not born and raised here. I'm born and raised in Rhode Island. If you couldn't tell by the accent, hey. Yeah, so I was born in the Northeast, and I've been residing here since 2004. But yeah, if that's true, that's not a good thing. Of course, I think a lot of states are just getting this way, right? And I think a lot of it was caused by, I don't think the sole reason, but maybe by COVID. Everybody had to stay in the house, and or they could order out, and they really couldn't go any other place, so they sat home and they just ate. So yeah. Let me see. Let's see. Mervyn Gravel, I'm sorry. Happy New Year's, Chris. Looking forward to 22 and new vids. Yeah, the first new one's going to come out is of the moon. And this one is awesome. And I know everyone here has seen this photo. I have not dove into this thing like I have on this time. And the reason for that is not, I've done actually a different section of it. It's actually inside a crater as opposed to outside a crater. So when you see this, at first I'm looking, I'm going, I don't see, what the hell? I'm looking at this thing and it literally just, the line just came right out. I said, wow, check this out. This is wild. And still people believe that never went to the moon, never went even orbited the moon. Wow, I'm totally blown away. It's like the lack of belief in man is just incredible. Now, have a lot of these space agencies lied? Of course, I don't know if this person put Juan. I think his name's Juan. Hope you can work your magic on this pic. Which reminds me, I have to go do my Mars Anomalies Facebook page. I haven't been on there in the last week and a half at least. And it's not that I'm trying to avoid it. I just haven't been on there. So I need to check them out because a lot of people, I think, hold on. Yeah, I got a few messages on there, that's for sure. So I'll definitely have to check them out probably later on this evening or over the weekend, right? Long Island, New York, 1395 says, I'm here. Yes, Happy New Year, all. Happy New Year to you over in New York, as you can see. Boom, there you go. New York on the screen is in the hizoo. let's see. Stephen Porter, what's going on? He said, taste still not back properly after 8 weeks. Can't smell Vic or curry either. Wow. It's like my wife. She had the same thing. Couldn't smell or taste. Couldn't do any of that. And she only had a very mild case of it. So did my son. And it took her months to get this back, but you will get it back. Hers is probably 95% back. So, and this is months later. So it will come back, I promise. Now, some people they have like lasting where it does not change. It does not get any better, which sucks, right? So I'm hoping it comes back for you. I can't imagine like eating a nice fat ass steak and going, I can't taste that. What is that? You just feel texture and that's it. You don't, you can't taste a darn thing. That'd be frustrating for me. Yeah, exactly. All right. Errol1, Ziggy Zoomy 1. That's a tongue twister and a half, isn't it? I said, talk to the future, Chris. We are 10 hours ahead in New Zealand. Yeah, Happy New Year. Exactly. This is the reason why, again, I got the hat on, because I know a lot of you folks around the world are ahead of us. So, yeah, Happy New Year's to you and yours. Hope everything, like I said, and I appreciate that 786 auto. He said, happy to do so, Chris. But like I said, I mean, again, I'm just hoping next year is going to get better. Hopefully this COVID crap and all these other strains are dying off, which they will, and it'll just get better. You know, I'm sure even if your life was good, because mine wasn't bad, other than the COVID situation, but other than that, it's like, it's been fine here. No issues. But you still want it to be better, right? You want everything to be back to some kind of, at least 100% normalcy, right? Irish Mexican says, this might be the year we get disclosure. I don't know if it'd be full disclosure, but I'm hoping, like you are, that it does more and more. We need more of it. You know, and it's slowly coming out. Of course, there's people out there, I don't think it's in their best interest to give out full disclosure anyway. Like I said, we've got a bunch of puppets out there, like Elizondo and people like that, and embellishment and everything else. I don't think that's the case at all. They're nothing but PR puppets, like I said. I still don't believe all that rash of crap about, you know, ooh, they're flying around our military. They've been doing this for years. This is nothing new, okay? I mean, back in the 50s, they flew around the White House, and there was 15 or 20 of them. Why are they worried about military bases again? Maybe they're just here to show us a superiority, and then, of course, they're saying, listen, we're just keeping an eye on you. We just don't want you to see you guys blow yourself to pieces. Basically, they could be peacekeepers. Nobody, at least not through the government, has said anything about they pretty much like destruction to one of these missile sites, to any of the warships, any of our aircraft. I know there's been close calls with regular airliners, people flying from here to there, or A to B. But other than that, nothing. It's like, oh, they're flying with impunity. Okay. Okay, so, you know, as far as that, like I said, that Tic Tac, I think that's made here. I think that's just made here. And whoever's doing it is going, hey, look at this. I can fly anywhere I want to go and you'll like it. That's basically what they're doing. That hasn't done anything, hasn't, again, like this one here on Earth, and I believe it's, you know, made here right on Earth. Again, no destruction to anything, whether it be planes, boats, missile sites, structures, nothing. So why the big, you know, fear kind of thing going on? We need to find out who it is. Okay, that I get, because it's made here. I'm thinking it's the United States, but some people think it might be China. Could very well be. Once they figure it out and find out, then they'll have to answer to it, right? That's the way I look at it. Vladimir Watcher, you said some of the moon has damp areas. It does, because if you look at some of these, like some of the lunar buggy footage, right? You can actually see it looks like it's muddy type thing, well, basically muddy. It's very damp. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not really bad, but it's, you can see like darker, damper areas where the tread of the wheels have gone through. And then some real light, you don't see a whole lot. It's like dust, right? So it definitely has some moisture on it. Ooh, this thing just jumped on. I knew it was going to do that too. Hope Valley said, that's cool. You're originally from Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts here. What's going on, Boston, Mass? Good to see you in there. Ah, it's good to see other people from my neck of the woods. Boston, Mass. Yeah, my mom lived up in Derry, New Hampshire. A buddy of mine used to go to Laconia every year for the bike, everybody up there with the motorcycles and stuff, and used to go to the beaches up there and used to chill. Mars Lakes, what's going on? Howdy, folks. Soon a new year of NASA treating us as idiots. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be an ongoing thing, right? Until somebody blows them out of the water and says, hey, you're going to be held accountable for the lies you've been telling for years, right? But I did give you a mention in this last video, by the way, because you had brought it to my attention to do that last one, so I appreciate you doing that. Interesting finds, by the way. So, but you know me, I got to get into the whole darn photos. I went into the whole darn Gigapan, which is plenty to see in there, folks. I don't know if you went through that Gigapan, but really, really cool. I like it because there's just so much to see in that thing. It's crazy. And the rocks. Like I said in the video, I live in a mountainous area. There's rocks, there's layered rock, there's, you name it, it's here. Rocks by riverside, rivers and stuff like that. And I don't ever see transparent rocks. I don't see, it looks like painted rocks. I never see any of that. Funny that. Tony P said 100% agree about the Tic Tac. Yep. Renee Cruz, you said there would be an anarchy, mass panic, chaos, mayhem, and pandemonium on the planet. The only people on Earth that would survive this extraterrestrial alien and UFO invasion is us, the UFO community. Yeah, you know, because we're not going to be panicked about it. We're going to be like, hey, sweet. I mean, unless, of course, they're an Independence Day kind of alien, if you get what I mean. Other than that, come on. All is worry for nothing. Yeah. Spears Repair, Chris. What's going on? Good to see you. And he said, Happy New Year, guys. Priest at NASA. I guess it says go. I don't know if you were trying to put anything else, but yeah, we've got that on there talking about, remember, was it like NASA hired like 25 theologians? Did you guys hear about that? That they're going to see how people would react to other alien races or aliens. I'm going, what? How about just run your own poll? Like, just ask people, what would be your feedback? Would you be terrified? Well, we might even do that, just for the hell of it. Do a poll on the community there. Are you terrified? Not at all. Maybe a little bit. Or I'm going to crap my pants. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation. Because if you ever walked outside your house and there's something very dark and ominous sitting right over your head, and pretty much everybody else's house around you has been obliterated, you may want to kind of maybe crap yourself and then run like hell. Other than that, I'd be like, sweet, what is that? I'd be a little nervous, don't get me wrong, but I'd be like, okay, let me hide back in the house. But at the end of the day, though, I'd be going, wow, you know, why are they here? You know, of course, there's a million questions, but I don't think anybody here would be out of their minds about it. I really don't. Would you be concerned if it was right over your house and it looked ominous? Absolutely, because you're going to be there to protect yourself as well as your family, right? So, makes sense. Would I be totally distraught over it? No. Be curious as heck. Stephen Porter said, Chris, aliens would leave us to it if we were to destroy ourselves, if we were stupid enough to try. Well, I mean, there is, like I said, there's a space treaty now where you can't have, supposedly not have weapons out in space. The only thing I can think of is that, and I know this has been said a lot of times, is where our elite, meaning our government and past government officials, meaning like black ops kind of thing, and the militaries of the world, all know about this. They're in communication with these aliens and stuff like that. They probably told them, listen, if you guys want to war with yourself and kill each other off, go for it. But you're not going to do it out in space. That's not going to happen. So, and of course, we're supposedly, meaning all of the countries here on Earth, are supposedly be signing this space treaty to make sure that this doesn't happen. Of course, we can see how well that goes with other countries, just regular on-the-ground warring, right? Yeah, so that might just go right out the window. But we'll see what happens. Time will tell. Alien Hunter, what's going on? Good to see you. And he said, hi, Chris. Hi, chat. Best of luck for 2022, everyone. We are all survivors now. Absolutely, Alien Hunter. I hope you and the wife are doing well. Keep up the good work, by the way. I've been checking the work out again. I need to get that other ID number off you, because I was telling everybody else I want to get the actual ID off that screen grab that I grabbed off of your video. I'll have to get back with you. Well, it was my last moon video, and I got a link to that photo. Was it the photo? Was it the... It might have been. I'm trying to remember now. But anyway, I got the link on the video itself. And I like to get the actual photo if I can. You had done like a close-up on there and stuff like that. So I want to reanalyze that instead of the screen grab, you know. But even the screen grab revealed a lot of weird stuff on in that photo. But yeah, I mean, just keep up the good work. Anybody new here hasn't jumped on Alien Hunter. That's what he goes by, Alien Hunter, on YouTube. Check him out. Sub to him. He's got a lot of good stuff. He doesn't do like I do, like any kind of commentary or my thoughts or his thoughts or anything like that, but does a great job of just letting you go in, zoom in, bring it back out, so on and so forth. Does a great job of doing this. Check out the channel. I think you guys will be happy you did. Really, really good stuff. Miss Heard, what's going on? Good to see you in there. By the way, I've been going back and forth with that same person there, that flat earther. That's fun, isn't it? But I got no remorse with people like that. I just rip them a new one. I've done this years ago, before I started getting hot and heavy into videos doing these. And, you know, one thing I've learned from them, as soon as you know, start showing them real facts and stuff like that, of course they deny it. In fact, I showed that person that video that I said, our earth is not flat, my video. And I'm still not convinced. I went, wow. But you should expect that. So I didn't get into too much other than that. Just said, they said, still not convinced. You ain't going to be convinced. And they're talking about indoctrination. I'm going, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. But they can never show you their research or their proof. Not somebody else's, but theirs. I thought that was comical. Cameron, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said, how are you, Chris? And Happy New Year, almost. LOL. Yep. We're getting there, Cameron. But Happy New Year to you and yours as well. Doing good here. I hope you're doing well. Third Eye Open, what's good and what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said, greetings, friends, and may we all have a Happy New Year. Love that hat, Chris. Very snazzy. Yeah, I think so. But like I said, I was going to wear the goofy glass. I went, maybe I shouldn't. So, yeah. Yeah, I think if I see people wearing these a lot. I was hoping to get the ones that have the, what is it, the ones that have the lights on them and everything else. That would have been cooler, but I was like, yeah, nothing says kick my rear end and like wearing these things around. So, yeah, I decided I wasn't going to do that. I think my wife paid like a dollar for like 3 or 4 sets of them. That's, you expect that. Let's see. Danny Diesel says, did you see how the experts opened the copper time capsule box found under the statue? Hilarious. No, I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I've seen that. Is that just recently? Ralph Franco, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Yeah, I was going to say Alien Hunter. It was film footage because that's what I did. I stopped it and I just paused it and grabbed it. I still like to get that area, though. I had to try to figure out what, because I'm sure it is obviously in the magazine or the archives, right? So I had to get somewhere in that area and try to get something a little clearer. Because you even know you're up against the compression, video compression when you're uploading to YouTube, so on and so forth. So if you get the photo itself, better chance of you pulling the stuff out a little bit better. And you know how that can be. It's just a pain in the rear end. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still found some pretty cool stuff in there. And like I said, the video I'm about to do is like insane. Oh, my God. Thank you, Miss Heard. I do appreciate you. Much love to you. And like I said, again, Happy New Year's to you. Guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Miss Heard, you said, good deal, Chris. They needed a new one ripped. Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, I still can't believe people are still thinking that. She said, oh, he said rather, they said, like the tin foil on the capsule and, you know, how do they get the, how do they put it? It was kind of sarcastic. Something about how do they get the moon vehicle or something like that, the way they said it. Did they have it in the underside compartment? I'm going, oh my God, the ignorance is astounding. So I sent them another video showing this, I don't know if she's called Astrophysics Girl or something along them lines, but whatever. She basically breaks it apart. I was trying to just find the video itself. It's because they've had like 5 or 7 different companies that could, or that they were trying to incorporate, said, listen, give me your best lunar buggy build, and we're going to run with it. And I don't know if it was Lockheed Martin, whoever it was that got the deal, so to speak, and they built it. But if they had done their homework, it literally folds into itself, nice and flat. The wheels all fold in. And they said, what is it, gas or electric? It's electric. It's a four-wheel electric vehicle. It folds, the wheels fold in, and then it folds up into the side of the capsule. But apparently they're just ignorant and don't want to do the homework. They just want to believe what all these other flat earth people are talking about instead of doing their own research. That's what's crazy. It's like they go, well, science is not real. Oh my God, wow. You know, talk about going right off the deep end. And then they're saying, you're indoctrinated. Yeah, smoke another one. It's astounding how just people are like that. Long Island, New York, thank you, sir, for your support. Always appreciated. And like I said, you guys are awesome. But I've just seen Josh D's too, his comment. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, in this day and age, we're still seeing this. What is going on here? Again, thank you all for the super chat support. I do appreciate you. Josh D, you put on there, Mars leaks, Earth is as flat as a ball. Oh my God. David Clark. Earth is about 70% covered in water and it's not carbonated. So you can really, oh, that's a good one. I like that. You could say Earth is flat. They said, oh, you know, there's no way the water can stay on Earth. Have you ever heard of gravity? I know it's a new concept, but learn about it. Wow. Mike Knapp says, be right back. Supper time. Daughter's hungry. I hear you, man. Take care of the fam. Miss here, you said flat earth is literally like witch hunters. If you do not believe just like they do, they are lost and not of God. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's the best. I was watching what he had said to you. I was just looking at their avatar, and I thought it was a girl at first, but it's not. But I just find it comical that it's, now there's 2 people I've been arguing with, so maybe it was a girl. Maybe you can enlighten me on that. But really, really interesting how these people still think and had this mentality. It's just, wow. I said, if you ever flown in a plane before at cruising speed, and you're at about 40,000 feet, you can still see a slight curvature. And of course, I showed them that video, and they said, I'm still not convinced. I don't know. John Ward's in the house. Said, I'm here. What's going on, John? Good to have you in there, brother. Hope you are, well, you're not quite New Year's yet, but hope your New Year's is going to be good and healthy and prosperous. We all can hope that, right? Oliver Klein, what's going on? He said, because everything in nature is flat. Oh, yeah. Miss Hared, you said they denied technology such as satellites, space stations. Oh, yeah. Everything's fake. I went back and forth with a guy, like I said, and Eric Douchebag, I call him, Dubois, or whatever they calls himself. I went round and round with him because, like I said, one of my things I like to do as a hobby was FTA, free-to-air satellite, and I had a 10-foot satellite dish. I think I told you folks this before. And I've had the smaller pans, they call them, or dishes, like 30-inch, 36-inch dishes, and I'd have them pointed at, different satellites. The 10-foot satellite, or the 3-meter satellite, because I know you guys are used to the meters, where I had to change the LNB at the end, which is the low noise block, take that off and put a HU/C-band so I can get all of these satellites. I was hitting like 23 satellites in the arc because it does this. Literally goes like that there. And I was hitting all of these, and yet they go, well, those are local. I'm going, if it's so local, then why can't I just use like a FM antenna to receive these then? Does that make sense to anybody? I mean, wow. So I went round and round talking about technology with them, and it's like talking to the wall. You might as well just talk to this bench here. Absolutely nitwits. John Ward says, Happy New Year, everyone. There's another channel if you guys are new here to the channel. Check out Jean Ward. You can see him right there, Jean Ward's channel. Awesome, awesome stuff. There's a lot of satellite views of Mars as well, and I think you'll enjoy that channel, so check him out as well, and don't forget to sub to him. Really, really good stuff. You know, I do a lot of the down on the ground. He does a satellite. Just awesome. Get to see two perspectives. So, not usually the same area, but nonetheless, find some pretty decent monolithic stones, which stuff looks like it's been placed strategically on these stones. Really weird. And really cool at the same time. So, it's awesome. So, check his channel out as well, and don't forget to sub. Equalizer's in the house. What's going on? He said the last 6 hours to midnight are the longest of the year. It drags on and on and on and on. Can't send any cash from here, but when I get back to the UK, I will sort you out, Chris. I'll sort you out. Cheers. I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, I'm actually looking forward. I'm so optimistic about this year coming up. Because you can make changes in your life, too. I don't care if it's anything. You always hear that old cliche, I'm going to start losing weight. Not that I really have to, but I still like to be in, stay in health and stuff like that and eat the right foods, and I don't always do that. So that's going to change as I sip on this. Just kidding. Be less of that, too. But we can all try to do better for ourselves. I don't care if it's financially, being close with family, so on and so on. Guys, we get one ride on this world. One ride. That's all you get. Make the best of it. Make the best of it. Tommy Wiley says, I almost bought a flat earth watch for fun. Then I realized they were selling it to raise funds to promote their beliefs. Yeah, exactly. You're not the first one that said that, too. I heard somebody talking in this goes years back, and they were talking about that. They said, I don't think so. Yeah. When did that become like a thing? Now, back in the day, I can understand that, right? When you're talking about, way back in medieval times, you kind of get that because people were ignorant. And the science, there was really no science, not really science like there is today. You can understand that. And you'd be compassionate about it. Well, the poor people are ignorant. They just don't have a clue. And, they just don't know. They're just, But in this day and age, come on. Get off of it already. Wow. War Crime, what's going on? You said, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year's to you as well. I hope it's a good one. John Moore says, Happy New Year. I appreciate it, John. Same to you as well. You don't have much further to go. What do you got? You're almost there. You're almost there. You're getting there. What do you got, about another hour, a little over an hour? Tony Gibbs, yeah. Like you're saying to Jean Ward, you obviously can't build 3D models if the Earth is flat using their own logic. Yeah. Critabana says in 2052 we will have flying cars that will cross continents using displacement by quantum fields powered by plasma reactors. Oh yeah, it's just a question of time. I mean, even just the simple stuff, like you see these electric hoverboards, you see them like when people stand on them, and of course you can control it with your controller in your hand. Those are wild in themselves, and that's just standing on it. It's an actual hoverboard, but they're actually electric motors. They're not plasma or any of that sort. But it's still cool to see that. I'd love to own one of those. Are you kidding me? Traffic. Psst, I ain't got time. Imagine just flying over the cars and see ya. Go over a river instead of having to go up and over a bridge, and that'd be pretty cool. Mimi React says 1 hour and 10 minutes to go. That's what I figured. Getting close for you folks. Let's see. Oh, thing just jumped on me again. Oh, okay. Nag Hamandi, you said, Chris, Martian rock carved animal at 12 minutes and 3 seconds, and mushrooms are growing. Check it out, I guess you were saying. Oh, you're talking about right next to that? Right next to that statue thing with what looked like a statue anyway? Mars League, he said, Chris, any update on getting crystal clear images of Mount Sharp as we were promised? I don't foresee it. I really don't. Because if you think about it, the rover's been like basically driving in the base of it, right? Now, supposedly, and I think they already have been in the last few years, already been up in there, because they were supposed to actually go up, and then they were supposed to hit their destination. It's supposed to be 10 miles total, I think. And of course, I think they passed that by now, because every time they go to make a route, it's like they'd go to somewhere, oh, hell, we can't go that, we got to back out and go around. So it might be a little bit farther than that now, but yeah, I just don't see it. And no matter how close they got to that mountain, which is funny as heck, because they said, I forget how tall this thing was, no matter how far or close they got to, you can always see the top of it. I'm going, wait a minute, how are you still seeing the top of this thing? You're supposed to be only like, like at the base of it, within a couple miles of the base of it. And what I mean by the base is the very, very bottom, where it just starts to level off. I don't mean like coming down, but at the very base and it starts to go level, it's supposed to be like a couple miles tops. It's supposed to be just kind of running horizontal with the base of it. And then it's supposed to go up into the mountain. It's supposed to be 10 miles round trip. Well, not round trip, but one way. So, never heard a word about it. But every single time, you can always see that mountain right there. And I'm going, but it's not getting closer any farther. What's the deal here? But again, once you see some of these videos that I've done, what Mount Shop, you can see, like I said, they look like objects all lined up in a row. Like I said, I always use the analogy like a used car lot. Because they're literally sitting like this all the way. I'm going, they're not buttes. They're literally all spaced apart. And they're like all in a row, all the way down. I'm going, I get buttes. I get that. But a lot of times they're here. There's one in this direction. One's like this. They're not all in a row. And you can see smaller ones in front. And they're all just lined up. I went, And if you burn them slightly, you can see like small details, round pieces, and just different weird stuff in them. It's crazy. Samantha Morris, she said, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Tim Buck 3. I think that's what they were called, right, that group? Instead of Tim Buck 2, get it? Alfie Joe Bob, what's happening? Good to see you in there, man. Let me see. Kyle Harvey said, it's time to slim down some Massey's pizza. Yeah, that'll do it to you, though. Eat enough of that. It was like, oh, God. Thomas, you said, hey, longtime fan, first time to chat. Love your channel. I appreciate it, Thomas. Glad you're here. That is awesome. Hope L, you said, your question was, hey, Chris, do you believe in reincarnation? Find the subject very interesting also. I really, to be truthful, I haven't really put too much thought into it. Now, you know, some people have talked about it how, well, you heard stories about it too, where people, like, they're grown-ups, but they can picture themselves as a child in a totally different country where they can, like, literally name off everything, like street corners, where they lived, you know, what type of house it was it next to a church, a lake? I mean, so vivid details of when they were younger, but yet they were a different person. Now, I have heard stories how people say, well, it's a bunch of crock. You know, they probably just looked it up first and got all the information they needed, and that was the end of that. But some of them, I don't remember one of them, I remember they were talking about this where they said that they remember the people that were there, and they named them and everything. It was like 5, 10 people they named. The house, the color, what it was next to. I mean, it went on and on. I'm going, how do these people do that? If you're from another country, I guess you could put people's names in whatever town or province or whatever in this particular state or country. That would make sense, I guess. But wow, you know, some of the stuff is just really cool. I don't rule it out, reincarnation. No, not at all. Not at all. You know, I can't say that I 100% believe in it, because I don't know anybody personally that's been reincarnated, obviously, but unless somebody else has known that, said they have like these weird like memories and it takes them back to another time or place or being another person, then I'm more than happy to listen. But like I said, I don't rule it out. Definitely not. Mag Hamady says, Happy New Year, Chris, and everyone. Well, same back to you, man. Appreciate that. Jonathan Waddell, what's going on? He said, hey, Chris. Oh, hello, Chris, and all other wonderful people here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Jonathan. Glad you're here. That was John Ward. I'm reading your comments back to Josh D. It looks like you're going to have some interesting stuff coming up. Yep, people definitely want to sub to your channel. I'm going to be checking it out. I know that. Kyle Harvey, you said, has anyone donated tonight? Yeah, there's been a few fine folks that have already done that. Yep. They're awesome, as you are most of the time. And everybody here. Like I said, support, any support's awesome. Because like I said a million times, you know, the channel's not a channel without you folks. So, so a big thank you to you all. Kurt Abana says, I believe in matter. It's a tough subject, but yeah. Long Island, New York. New Year's on Pluto. Yeah, try not to get that all over the phone or the keyboard there, Kyle. You said, I'm eating pizza, so it's hard to type. That could be a problem. Mars League says, Gale Crater is all designed by alien intelligence and the rest of the Mars, of course. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Mars is a planet. We all know that. But I mean, as far as a lot of the areas I've seen where the Curiosity was in Gale Crater, you can just see it's like it's structures that are being hidden and covered up. All you got to do is just go through it just a little bit, and you'll see that it's literally just overlay over these things. You can find this stuff, and even if you don't, you know, if you can't get through the stuff on Gale Crater, the mountain itself, it's supposed to be in the southeastern part of it, I believe, of Gale Crater. And like I said, you can see these things all lined up, but then look at the rocks and the stuff that is where the Curiosity is running parallel. You can see this weird stuff. It's crazy. Oh, Kyle, thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate you, man. That's awesome. That is the shiznit. Too kind, brother. Too kind. Let me see. Mike Knapp, he said, yes, Chris, those past life stories are mad. Yeah, they are, aren't they? And so I'm sure some of them are made up, just like the UFO stories, just like a lot of stuff out there. It's made up. But when you hear some of these things, they're like, how do these people know this? And it's not just like current day. This goes back in the 20s. And I've heard stories back in the 90s, 80s, and 90s. And they're talking about things that happened back in the turn of the like 1900s and stuff. I'm going, wow. And they knew these people. I'm going, I guess with a little research you could figure this out, right? Well, when you go back to the 80s, it's not like everybody had a computer back then. So it makes it a little bit more believable. Not that it's impossible not to fake it, but I just find it really interesting. Cameron, you said, good stream as always, Chris. Have a happy new year. Can't wait to see what the next year holds for us as always, Chris. Please stay safe and out there and have a good weekend. You do the same, Cameron. I do appreciate that. And be safe there, right? And if anybody's listening, guys, if you're gonna, I know it sounds corny as hell, but if you're gonna party it up, just do something at home or somewhere you're at home and not at a bar. The only reason why I say that is because I've seen it too many times, friends get in car accidents and stuff like that, and I go, wouldn't it have been safer just to stay at a friend's house, get completely shit-faced, and just pass out there? Wouldn't it be just make more common sense? You're not on the road. You're not going to kill yourself or somebody else. And just because you just want to drink and drive, the next thing you know, your whole life turns upside down, provided you live through it. So that's, you know, I just hate to see something like that happen to anybody, you know. Mimi Rex, said, Chris, I sometimes have the same feeling. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of that weirdness. It's kind of like you just like a deja vu kind of thing. So, you know, like I said, I don't rule any of that stuff out. I really don't. Kyle said, I absolutely believe in reincarnation. Yeah, like I said, I don't doubt it. I'm not saying I can say for certain. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I'm not closed-minded to that stuff at all. In fact, I think my aunt, when she was talking about that, she believed in reincarnation. And I believe that could be true, you know. Now, again, I don't know anybody who's been there. I'm obviously not reincarnated, but you want to have a really good, fun conversation. Sit around with your family and friends. Go, hey, if you guys were like reincarnated, what would you want to be? Who or what? I like to be the predator. It's like, what? Yeah, you get some crazy things. Kurt Urbanus, he said, spirit world is speculation. Well, it is, unless you've had something to do with it. In other words, something spiritual that really rocked your world kind of thing. And so you're kind of like, well, it's not speculation to me. You know, this has happened to me, so on and so forth. So I don't know. I can't say yay or nay. I really can't. Tony Gibbs said, I welcome theories if they are based on something more than how you feel about it. Exactly. It's got to be something that, boom, you know, it's happened to you and whatever it may be, and you just feel strongly about after it's happened, right? Yeah, Ms. Head, you're echoing the same thing I just said. Please do not drink and drive. Please. Yeah, I just don't want to see anybody get killed. There's no point in it. Like I said, if I was a heavy drinker or I was a drinker at all, I'd be like getting, you know, like I said, I get shit-faced at home or hang out with my friends. I know I can just pass out at their pad. Pfft, next. Wake up in the morning. Oh, I got a headache the size of Godzilla. And then move on. You know, but at least I'm alive the next day, right? Thomas says, at least Uber or Lyft. Exactly. Make the right choices, that's all. Yep, vomit on somebody else's carpet, Equalizer said. Oh my God. That's funny. That is funny. Cloud33 Studio says, hey Chris, Happy New Year, man. Thank you, Cloud33. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate that. Happy New Year to you as well. Harvey says, hey, I love you guys. Uh-oh. You haven't already started drinking, have you? It was that, remember you always had that friend, I love you, man. You're the best. You don't understand. You're the best, man. I love you. And you're going, okay, bro, I get it. I love you too. I had one friend that was like that. Oh my God. He was insane. But funny dude. He was great. I'm watching myself what you guys are seeing right now, and it's hilarious. John Ward says it's, I guess it's what? Is it? Oh yeah, must be midnight where you're at. Here in South Africa now, lots of fireworks. Oh, and our curfew has been lifted. Oh, curfew? No. Oh, really? Awesome. About friggin' time, isn't it? By the way, Kyle, you said, I'm donating and Happy New Year to you all. Again, Kyle, thank you again for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. Finner says, Happy New Year's, Chris. Happy New Year's to you as well. Steve Ghanem's in there. What's going on, Steve Ghanem? Good to see you in there. GRL Charge, he said, hey Chris, did you see the Webb telescope video when it reached 400 miles away? All of the traffic has started appearing and then they cut back into the control room. No, I actually didn't see that. I need to check that out. Is the video still up? If it is, do you have a link to it? Love to check that out. As I'm sure somebody else has got the link, obviously, right? In fact, I know NASA was, and I believe ESA was broadcasting it as well. So love to check it out. Would love to check that out. Mars Leak, I do appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for your support. He said, let us hope 2022 be the year NASA stopped being criminals and acknowledge alien life on Mars and on other planets and moons in our solar system. I agree with you. I totally... Something's got to give. I mean, going back to the 24 hired theologians, it's almost like they're trying to get us ready. In other words, they're like, okay, let's see what people think, and then we'll spring more information on them. Think about that a minute. And I was thinking, going, okay, yeah, that would be interesting if they could take a poll and everybody's like, I'm okay with it. You know, and they're saying, I wouldn't be freaked out or whatever. And they get the majority of people saying this, because, you know, clearly not everybody's going to say this, because some people think they're demons and some people think whatever, whatever. And they're free to think whatever they like. But those are the people going to probably be in the negative. They're going to be like, I'm good. But if they could do that, maybe it's their way of saying, okay, this is the next step to disclosure. We can maybe fill people in on this. I don't know. Again, Mars Leaks, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. That is just awesome. John Warren says, I'm smoking. No drink. Stopped many, many years ago. Yep. I hear you. Let me see. Mike Nabby said, I haven't gone out for New Year's for about 15 years. Yeah, I'm the same way. And to be honest with you guys, a lot of times I'll actually fall asleep and next thing I wake up, oh, it's done? So, yeah, I mean, we'll sit there and we'll watch, like, get people in, you know, different channels and stuff, having a good old time. And, you know, I'll be sitting there going, eating chips and dip and, you know, just chilling and, you know, at home. It's cool to be out there. I've been to New York because, like I said, I lived in Rhode Island all my life, born and raised. And we went with my friends. Man, it was a nightmare to get out of there. I'm like, oh, my God. Because, you know, there's thousands upon thousands of people there. And, you know, it was just an experience. But I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'd rather be home. You know, so this way there's no traveling. Don't get me wrong, it's not the same experience. I get that. But on the other side of the token, you can get your local fireworks. You know, obviously, if you know, need a little bit of alcohol, you can get any of that locally. I mean, save yourself some money, aggravation, and travel. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? Alien Tenno, what's going on? Is Happy New Year, Chris, in chat? Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Alien Tenno. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a good New Year's as well. Andrew Cole, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Rob Simmer's in there. Simer? Is it Simer? Simer. It is 21 degrees and falling. Damn, where you at? You up in the northwest? Up in the north? Because we're still here. It's weird, man. This time of year, we should not be seeing 60s and high 50s for like a week straight. Now, Sunday it's supposed to change here where it's going to, I think they say it was going to be close to 60 again, and then it's going to drop. It's supposed to have like ice and everything else, and then it's supposed to be in, I think, 30s. Then the whole next week, somewhere in the upper to low 30s and 20s at night or something like that. I'm going, great, more ice scraping, can't wait. Of course, I don't do that anymore. I just start the car up. But, yeah. But, yeah, it's been really weird. Now, we've talked about climate change and all this BS. Again, I believe it's real, but I also believe most of the time it's because of the sun itself, the activity. 90% of it is, or let's even go 95%, and the rest is maybe 5% human error or pollution, call it what you will. I'm sure we're not helping the situation. So we are, you know, kind of, excuse me, that soda will kill me. It's going to kill me yet. But, you know, pollution's not helping anything either, especially with the polls. But being that the sun is getting more and more active, of course it does have its lulls and stuff like that, but because it is getting more and more active, every planet in the solar system is going to heat up. That's just a natural thing. Andrew Cole, thank you very much for your support as well. Thank you. So Happy New Year, Chris. Wish it could be so much more. Listen, any support's good support. I do appreciate you. Don't worry about it. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Equalizer. For 20 years I worked every Christmas and New Year. My third wife wouldn't let me. I hate it when that happens. Yeah, I know a lot of times, I don't know about you folks, but when you're working, and you just like pray for time off, you know, because it's like, it's been crazy the last couple of years, so it's like, listen, if I can't decompress, I'm going to go off. So, yeah, you just want to just chill. Mimi reacts. She said, I want to watch the first sunrise of the new year. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? As long as it's not cloudy. I think it's supposed to be cloudy here tomorrow as well. Actually, I think it's going to start raining tonight through the whole weekend. Can't wait for that. It's like, sucko. But, you know, it is what it is, right? There's not much we can do about it. Mother Nature says, hey, this is the way it is. Jean Ward, I agree with you, brother. He said, hanging out with all of you, beats a bar or a nightclub, hands down. Yeah, because at least we pretty much know each other here. Now, obviously, we've never had a beer together or nothing like that, but you still, as familiar we are with each other, it's just, yeah, hands down, it beats it. Hands down. Louis Longbeard, what's going on? Good to have you in there, man. And thank you for your support as always. So Happy New Year all. Haven't been around for a while. I was going to say that. It's been a while since I've seen you. For a while, but I'm still here. And E.T. still hasn't landed and Elon Musk is on Earth. Here's to a new year. Cheers, brother. Appreciate you. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think it's getting there. And like I said, I think it's this thing going on with these 24 theologians. I think it's to feel out the public. Because I think they're going, okay, because remember, we got to keep in mind, NASA, back in, I think it was 1960s, the one that made the Brookings report, where they claimed how would people, or asked the question, how would people react to another alien civilization, or knowing that there's other people out there, basically, right? So it's basically a modern day of that. So they're trying to get an idea, you know, they're trying to feel out the public again. How do they feel? Well, of course, they're going to be a lot more desensitized than in 1960. But funny enough, before these Apollo missions, they decided to make this Brookings report. So why is it a secret to anybody that they go, you know, they're not going to lie about what's on the moon? Why would they do that? Well, if they're coming out with that report right off the bat, what's that tell you? If we run into anything that is alien and it's not ours, yeah, mum's the word. So why do you think they would even say anything about it? It simply makes no sense. It's like, you know, they know that people are going to be probably freaked out, but to me, I think it's the way they convey it. If you said something ominous like, yeah, there was some spaceships on the moon, and they looked like they were warring with each other and literally tore themselves to pieces, and, you know, I could see dead carcasses everywhere. Then you go, oh my God, are we next? It's the first thing you think of, right? So you don't want to convey that kind of information. Now, if you were conveying something like, you know, we found something that's on the moon that's not ours. It appears to be a couple of small structures. Start off with something small. We don't know where they're from, something like that. We're happy that we've explored this. We want to find out more. You know, how do you guys feel about it? Take a little poll about it. I'm sure people would be on board. Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me more. It depends on how you convey it to the public. If you want to freak them out, it's a perfect way to do it. If you want to have them just ease into the idea of it, I think that's what they're doing, these 24 theologians. I don't know why. It's got to do with religious people in the church and seeing what they felt. So did they send out a memo to every church in the United States or around the world to say, hey, run this poll by the people that are in there today. Find out what they think about aliens. I mean, is that what they're doing? I mean, it's just crazy. To me, I don't think they'd know how to act any better than you or I would, depending on the situation, bad or good or indifferent. So I don't know. I don't know how they could be any better at handling it. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? You think it's a good idea? You think it's, I mean, the poll idea is good. It's a good idea because, you know, like I said, I think they'd want to know and get a basic idea. Theologians? Couldn't they have done this themselves? Tony P. said weather in London is warm for a time of year, but the sun is very distant memory. Yeah, but I mean, but you get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Here it's the same way. It's kind of like cloudy, 99% cloudy. Then you get a little sun here and there, and then it's that time of year, right? But we've never had it that warm for that long. It's just weird. Mimi Reacts question was, are today's people ready for the truth? Well, like I said, I think they've become more desensitized and they're not so probably whacked out of the head about it. But knowing that people got their heads more on social media than they do on the outside world, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, it could be a 50-50 thing, right? Tony Gibbs, you said, isn't listening more a term than reality? I don't think they are expecting radio signals to be audible, but more detectable event, rather, on an EM field. Either that, it's a transmission we're just not going to understand, period, right? So in other words, let's say it's a totally different language you just can't understand, but it's a radio signal, like a regular broadcast like we have. Would it be something like that if they're more primitive? Would it be something like that? Or would it be like these FRBs, these fast radio bursts? Would it be something like that? And it's being sent by light, and it's nothing more than just basically packets of information as opposed to audible. I don't know. I think about that and I go, how would they send a signal to Earth? Would it be doing the same thing, like listen to TV broadcast or radio broadcast, or would it be very similar to ours? Would it be in a totally different language? I don't know. Something that, they should be thinking about. I'm sure they have, right? Because they're actually receiving X amount of hundreds of frequencies at the same time through SETI. So I think they must have sat there going, what if it's not anything like we have? Yeah, I agree. And they're kind of going back and forth. And like I said, if these FRBs are actually communications throughout the universe, then one, you have to have a way to receive it, which they can, because they have dishes, but then you got to figure out what frequency, because it's light, but you want to figure out how to convert this information into a language we can understand. So I think it's really complicated stuff, but I don't know. They make it sound like, that we can never have any communications. Come on. If we're here, you can bet there's a lot of broadcasts being put out some way, somehow, with other civilizations. You can almost guarantee it. I'll bet they get bombarded by all kinds of weird signals coming in, but they're not going to tell you that. Think about it. If we're here, that's proof there's probably other people out there as well. If they are, you can bet that they communicate one form or another. Like I said, I've actually speculated that those FRBs are informations of light. There's all this, could be like terabytes upon terabytes of information, and I call it the galactic newspaper where flash, and it just goes throughout the universe, and people have just receivers to receive this. They get it in, all the information comes down, and it shows like everything that's going on with Centauri, Alpha Centauri, what's going on in this neighborhood of the universe, and blah, 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 blah. And people, it's like just a regular newspaper that's going around the universe as opposed to, around in your state or your country. How do we know? I think, jump down here. I've heard of that. Was it Tubin? Well, you said have anybody seen the Too Thin Air video on Christmas Comet, a craft, UFO, or a shield thing? No, but I remember Rich from GoofOn talking about that. I guess that channel had mentioned his channel, and he said, "Oh yeah, he's got like a ton of subs from it." But I don't. I haven't seen it. No. I hate when this thing jumps here. Kyle Harvey said they are using microwaves. They are not using radio waves. Their technology is far superior than ours. Well, we would like to believe that. Because what's the first thing we believe in, right? We think UFOs, much better technology. Well, here we go. We got the Tic Tac. Somebody's got that here on Earth. So where's it coming from? Is it just simply a drone, which I believe it is? I don't think they perfected something that the human body could be in this and take that kind of G-force and getting jerked back and forth in different, movements and everything else. I don't think that's the case. Vogue, no. So I don't think that's the case. But keep in mind, what is microwaves? A lot of the microwaves is like 2.4 gigs, which is a regular phone frequency. Not all, but you know what I'm saying. That's why if you ever owned a 2.4 gigahertz cordless phone, go next to all your microwaves on. Watch what happens. It literally interferes with it. So I ended up getting like a 6.6 gig years ago. I think I still have that old thing too. It's like the bat phone. I just use it. A couple of my friends have that number. That's the only ones that call me on that one. Thank you again, Kyle. I do appreciate you. He said they do not use microwaves or radio waves. The radio telescopes here are a complete waste of time. They're using the rubber band of the universe. Oh, cops on a string. But like I said, I mean, we don't know for sure. But if they are much more technologically advanced, which I believe a lot of them are, probably the majority, but you can bet there's still civilizations that are probably behind us in evolution, technological advancements, so on and so forth. So you can bet that they're still doing the same thing we are. Look at we're pretty high tech considering, of course not compared to the other civilizations, I'm sure, but because they're probably thousands, if not millions of years ahead of us, at least the ones way out. But to me, it just seems like as advanced as we are, if we want to call ourselves advanced, is that we still have radio waves, we still use different, frequencies. We got military bands, we got all kinds of like government, like you said, microwave band. We've got all kinds of different, frequencies that we use here on Earth. And yet, look, we're pretty decently advanced. At least that's what we think. Now, if it comes to somebody else, far more technologically advanced, yeah, clearly they're going to be going, oh, look how sad that is. They're still using little radio waves instead of light. But what difference does it make? As long as you could decrypt it or at least convert it into a language you can understand, who cares, right? And I'm sure they've already worked on that, thinking, what if this thing is like, kind of like the movie Contact, only it's light burst as opposed to radio. Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you in there, brother. He said, Happy New Year's, Chris. Happy New Year's to you as well, man. Hope you're doing good. Kyle, he said, rubber band of the universe expands and contracts. CJ Arnold, you said latest Mars vid. Looked like it was hot running metal or molten metal that spread out and rusted. It kind of does look like that, doesn't it? Now, some of it looks pretty clean and crisp, where it looks like it's standing up and it looks like it has holes in it. But like I said in the video, you can have a flat rock, like a layered rock, actually erode and have holes in it as well. So, but what I was going to say was that I've seen videos or photos before, I should say, where it was up close and this thing looks like rusted metal, and it was a box. It was like half of a box in the ground. I'm going, is that brine like they make it sound? Because it's supposed to be highly content, salt water, basically, is brine. But yet it's perfectly squared box, a back piece coming up. It looks like it's rusted metal. I went, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a moment. They can call it Humpty Dumpty for all I care. I don't believe that. I could be wrong, of course. I'm not infallible. Indra Cole, you said we need to find a way to access pre-encrypted image data from the machines we have sent to Mars. It's got to be the only way to get clean pictures of what is there. Very challenging. Yeah, well, I think they get, like pristine photos, right? Pretty good. But knowing that the helicopter, Ingenuity, they said it's got a 4K camera on it. So we know they didn't put anything less than that on the rover, even if they said they did. So it would have to transmit, which it does, transmit these photos to the rover, and then from the rover to the orbiters or directly to Earth, depending on which way they want to do that. So this information has got to be pretty quick, because you obviously got to transmit that data to the rover and then from the rover to there. They're not going to go from a 4K camera, think about this, 4K camera on the helicopter to the rover, and we're just going to transmit, maybe 480p rather, to Earth. Now, they might do that in two different ways. They might send one for the regular public, which wouldn't make any sense in a sense, and then of course the 4K to the DSN, which is Deep Space Network, to the people who are like in this covert type thing, or higher elites in that space agency. So I would think they're going to be encrypted. You can bet on it. And maybe the rover itself throws over something like a software over it. So even if you were to intercept it, it literally would be useless to you unless you had the software to decrypt it, meaning take off that layer and then you can now see the photo. That's what I think is going on. And then once it hits here, we have AI to just mask the whole thing and off to the public. And that's why we see these weird things sticking out of rocks and just different weird things going on, and real lousy AI, to be honest with you. Like I said, that last video I did, it looks sad. It literally looks sad. But they don't care. They're going, hey, as long as you don't see what's under it, well, you don't give a darn. You can speculate all you like. John Warren, you said I replaced my LTE wireless router for fiber to get away from the RF radiation. What's a little radiation between friends? Yeah, I just upgraded my Wi-Fi on my router, but it's in the other room. It's not even anywhere near me, so I don't really care too much. But it is what it is. You're going to get some kind of radiation from something, whether it's through your phone, your computer monitor, your this, your that. There's always something. Of course, you can get away from it a lot. When you had like a CRT monitor, radiation haven, right? So, yeah, thankfully we got away from those things a long time ago. But you can still get a certain amount of it from anything, right? As long as there's electricity, there's a chance of it. Yeah, you were just asking a question in Andrew Cole when I said, you said, where's the image obfuscation taking place, Mars or Earth? Like I said, I think what the rover does is, like I said, it just overlays with a certain software, basically keeping it's not even legible if you were to intercept the signal. Now, once it comes into them, they just kind of just decrypts it or takes the layer off and you get a full picture. Then, of course, they can downgrade it, manipulate it, flip it, rip it, and then send it to the public and go, here you go, guys. Here's the crash. The Martian raw photos. Yeah. Bull. Great for all. What's going on? He said, I have to jump off this thing. Happy New Year, everyone. All right, great for all. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Have yourself a good New Year's. Be safe there, right? And have a good weekend. D. Tubman, you said, Rich, you said the truth. Well, we can only, it's like anybody else here. We're not know-it-alls, right, by any stretch. But you try to analyze something from all angles if you can. So if you go, okay, maybe I'm wrong. What I do is I try to research, no matter what it is, and try to figure it out. Because I don't think anybody here is an astrophysicist. I'm surely not. And I'm not a scientist. But common sense can prevail in a lot of ways. And, just your own research. You can look at science and stuff like that, try to find peer-reviewed papers. You can try to find different things like that and get the most accurate information you can, right? Because we can be fooled. We know that. C.J. Arnold, you said these so-called elites are fighting amongst themselves to get there. So from that something's going on. Well, the fact that they're going, we want to go to the moon. Now this may be simple to, anything from just simple helium-3 mining to other metals, we don't know, to get to the moon. Now, a lot of people say, well, these beings that are there are going to allow, us to do that. Well, there is talk where we have like X amount of thousands of people on the moon already. If that's true, we don't have to worry about it. Now, I think a lot of these structures that we see, I think they're just left over from a civilization. And maybe the comings and goings of these, some people see these UFOs coming in and out of craters could be ours by now. I mean, think about it. We've been on the moon, well, publicly on the moon since late 68, 69, right? So up to what, 72, 73? So, but that doesn't mean we didn't go there prior. And it doesn't mean we stopped going, because we talked about this many a times. It doesn't mean we stopped going after the Apollo missions. Oh, Apollo 11, we're good. Shut it down. I don't think they did. And if they kept going with it, God only knows what they got up there now. I mean, you know, especially with the new technology, you can fly back and forth. You can just put the old whatever you had out with the new, in with the new, out with the old kind of thing. Just park the thing on the side, meaning some old spacecraft and older technology. I mean, who knows? And, like I said, I believe like what we're seeing in our solar system, I'm not saying for certain, of course, but I'm just saying I think a lot of this stuff has been abandoned. This might have been all used at one time. This could go back millions of years ago or thousands of years ago where, the sun was a little different. Our solar system was in a different part of the universe. Things could have been totally different for this solar system to be very active. We don't know, So there could have been a lot of changes way back when, where it's totally different from the way it is now. And this is the reason why I was saying, well, it's like going to a neighborhood maybe a rundown neighborhood of your state or neighborhood, whatever it may be, and you go, well, people used to live here. Now look at it. It's in ruins. It just looks like crap. Well, maybe they did this at one point on a larger scale, moved over to the solar system, lived here for X amount of thousands of years, millions of years, and then jumped off, moved somewhere else. Look what we're trying to do. We're trying to expand ourselves, get out of here. Is it any different? I don't think so. Tony Gibbs, you said, well, I have a friend arriving with homemade vegetable soup, so I am signing off. Happy New Year to all my space friends. Stay safe, everyone. You too, Tony. Thanks for being here. Do appreciate you, brother. Be safe. Have a good weekend there, right? John Ward, have yourself a good night, man, and Happy New Year's to you, and hope it's a healthy and prosperous New Year for all of us there, right? Good seeing you there, brother. And keep up the good work. Look at this, says, I'm very interested in what James Webb will find. You and I both. Something tells me that they got this thing equipped to find anything they want to in this universe, and I guarantee they're going to find a lot more, well, they won't tell us, but civilizations, so on and so forth. I think they're going to find some phenomenal stuff out there. Will we ever find out about it? Probably not. So we want to look at the beginning of time. Good luck with that. That I want to see. Because I don't think that we're the only... I think there's a multiverse. And I don't mean like... I mean like this just universes after universes after universes. Not, what's the word I want to use? I guess it's depending on how you look at it. But, to me, I think it's never ending. I think there's planets everywhere, and it just goes on and on. It just keeps going. With the vastness of space, it doesn't stop. Unless we're in this galactic fishbowl, I don't understand how it can stop. It's just void, man. It's just out there. And of course, there's planets in there, just obviously in space, taking up space. So I don't know how they could find it unless they just believe that once the Big Bang happened, it all expanded and there's going to be an actual end. Well, if you look at it the other way, it's the beginning of time. It'll go way out. We'll see at the end of that, and that'll be the end of it. But what happens if they don't? There's more. And it goes on and on and on. And I think they all know, and these people are, at least the smartest people on the planet, they all know this is BS. We're not the only people here. Come on. I mean, you see it all the time. You see, like, all of these thousands and thousands of stars and planets and stuff like that. And we're the only planet that just happens to be lucky enough to have life on it. Don't believe it for a moment. I really don't. And I don't think anybody else here does either. Kyle Harvey said, I don't know at all, but I've done a lot of research and put the facts together, and I was one with a ton of common sense. Well, and sometimes common sense can trump just like knowledge, period. Like I said, when I worked, because I was a tool setter for like 13 years, setting up machines and stuff like that. So, I've seen people with really, they're knowledgeable, total lack of common sense. Common sense, period. Again, I would say, listen, I need a new tool for this made, a new die or whatever, and I'll bring it up to engineering. They'll make it. I said, well, don't do it like that. You need to cut off half an inch here. You need difference on the wire line, blah, 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 blah. They'll go, you can't do it like that. I said, I absolutely can. I'm going to tell you right now. And I said, well, why do you need it differently than what CAD on the computer is showing? Because the machine's 60 years old. It's not the same as it used to be. There's all kinds of things. The slides are different. Everything's not in the same spot. And I know the machine like the back of your hand. It's like I just know the machine very well. And, of course, they'll make it the way they want. And he said, well, you just have to cut it down. They'll go down there with the piece, and sure in hell, it's about an inch off. And I said, don't listen to me. I'm a nobody. I wasn't paid the big bucks. But enough skill and enough common sense will get you a long way. Kyle, thank you again for your support, brother. I think the Big Bang was a crock, but I do believe that the universe is a cosmic web that is endless. You cannot teach common sense. No, you got to have it, right? I just don't see it ending. Like I said, I've said this before. Like I said, we're used to limitations, right? You walk into the wall, you walk into a chair, if you walk outside, at some point you walk a straight line, you got to walk into another house, another car, get run over, whichever happens. So in our mind we have limitations. But like I said, I think I used the analogy, if you were Superman and you could fly out into space, you would never stop. Provided you go around planets and everything else, you will never stop. It just keeps on going. Is there a wall at the end of this universe, this vastness of black? I don't think there is. That's what's mind-boggling. Now, as far as planets, because obviously it's like throwing a pebble into a lake, it just expands outward. And so if you've got the Big Bang and it expands outward, well, then we're going to see these ends, or the beginning of the universe, or basically the universe or the planets. At the very end, we will see that point. But is it possible at that point there's more universes out there? I don't know. Well, that's what they're going to find. But I have a feeling, because what are they doing in the infrared, guys? They're doing it in the infrared. They're out there looking for something. How many times have you heard people say, listen, I found UFOs flying around in the sky. I did not see them until I used infrared. Imagine that. So, I don't know. Of course, there's other light spectrums you can see them on, but not the point. I just find it really wild that they're saying that it's going to be the most powerful telescope we've had up there. So far, it's working well. It's unfolding itself. It's locking into place. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. You and I are also, we're curious. I definitely want to see what's going to happen with this thing. Kyle, he said, there is no end, I promise. Well, and I don't think there is either. Peter Petrelli, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. He's Chris, my man. Fellow anomalies hunters, I think you were saying. How's it going? Going good here, man. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well, Peter. Yes, I seen that, Pete. Pete Ferrero, he said, researchers found a perfect dinosaur embryo in egg and said it was 66 million years old, but won't to technologically advance ancient humans. Oh, I know. It's crazy. I just don't, see, they don't mind telling you something that happened way back in, prehistoric times, but there's nothing else out there. I don't believe that. Not for a moment. Look at this. You said military and infrared. Yeah. Yep. Indra Cole, you said if we could intercept the light from the event, we could rewatch the birth of Christ. Well, like I said, to me, it's, you know, again, does it end? And I don't mean, like I said, the vastness of blackness of space. I mean the planets themselves. I don't believe it does. Now, of course, again, I'm not an astrophysicist. I could be totally wrong and off the beaten path here. I could be totally wrong. However, I find it hard to believe in it. Just picture like this is the universe. And I mean, this is the universe. Every star cluster, everything you could possibly think of is in this little circle right here. But space is like never ending. It just goes out in every direction. It never ends. How is that possible? So it just one little spot in his total vastness of space. It's like, okay. Now, of course, I'm making this a lot tinier, of course, but that's it. The rest is all blackness of space. Nothing else exists in it. You know, I think we are, oh my God, we don't even understand the concept of time. That's how much time is out there. So, I mean, we understand in our own world what time is, you know, but to be out there, time changes. It slows down depending on the speed, and it's crazy. The variances out there, it's just, I don't know. When you stop and think of it, it's mind-boggling, trying to get your mind around it. Kyle Harvey said, Chris, even astrophysicists believe in exactly what you're saying. Well, I've heard some people say that, right. I guess they're all curious to see what the web's gonna find, right? Because I'm really super curious myself. Once that thing, I think it's supposed to be 1 million miles away from, I think it's 1 million miles away from Earth. And then of course they said if anything happens to this thing, they're screwed. It's basically like a high-tech piece of equipment floating on space. It's basically trash now, so not good. So I'm hoping everything goes well for this thing. Of course, they may pull a rover deal on us where they go, it was working so well, but it just quit, guys. We don't know what happened. We're so bummed out. In the meantime, okay, who knows if they don't have a transceiver on this thing, they can sit there and talk to aliens, or it can decipher the information, or at least the best equipment we have to decipher anything that this thing may receive, and they're hoping that they can break this, you know, be able to talk to them. Who knows what the heck's on this thing? What do you think we got here? All right. Yeah. NASA hired 24 theologians to study human reaction to aliens. New book. I don't think I'm going to go out and buy the new book, but whatever. Between heaven and earth, where do aliens fit in? Not between heaven and earth, because if you consider heaven, they always say it's just outside of the realm, but they also say, you know, heaven is basically everywhere, right? That's the question that NASA hopes theologians at the Center of Theological Inquiry, or the CTI, in Princeton, New Jersey, can answer in a recent effort to understand how humans will react to news that intelligent life exists on other planets. I'm going, okay. Again, could you have not taken your own poll to do this and figure out what the deal is? Why have theologians do this? Hire me. I'll take care of that. You know, there's a lot of things that people are afraid of, even just regular technology, or they don't choose to want to understand it. They're just like, listen, I'm happy the way I am. I'm a creature of habit. I don't give a damn. This is the way I want to be. So you probably will freak out those people. And I don't mean in a way that, well, then again, like War of the Worlds, when it very first came on the radio, people were jumping out of buildings and killing themselves. But I don't expect that kind of thing now. However, again, it depends on how it's brought to the public. It has nothing to do with, gee, I'm a theologian. I think it just has to do with how are you going to convey this to the public. It has everything to do with it, you know. It's like when somebody says, oh my God, there's a giant spider in the bathroom. People freak out because if they hate spiders, they got arachnophobia. And you go there and it's this big. It could fit literally underneath your pinky nail and walk around under it. It's so tiny. You go, oh, come on. It depends on how you convey it. If you ease into it, I don't think people would have an issue with it. What do you guys think? Would you, well, obviously we wouldn't be freaked out by it, but what do you think is the best way to go about this? How would you guys going about easing the other population? And I'm not talking about us, because we just go, give me more, give me more. I'm talking about how would you convey this to the public without, because you know people would freak out, some people would. So how would you ease them into it? Simulation. He said, what we need is a program to reverse the manipulation that NASA or JPL put on these Mars photos. I totally agree with you. It would be awesome. Like I said, I pray the day that one of these people are disgruntled and said, I'm going to slip this guy one of these real photos of Mars, and I'm going to let him have at it. I'm going to show him the original. Well, when I say original, well, we'll show the raw photo that we give the public, this one, and I'm going to show him the real one that's not been untouched, or has been untouched, rather, I'm sorry, has been untouched, and then you can see how we went around and covered the hell out of this thing, but this is the real photo. Send it anonymously, I don't care. People say, well, aren't you afraid of, getting caught or somebody wanting to kill you? No, not the least bit. If I'm going to go out, that's how I'm going out. I'll be happy to spread it out. Spread the word. Oh, yeah, Kyle, I'm the same way, brother. He said, definitely not book smart, but I am 100% street smart. But here's the thing. Even at some point, it's not really so much street smart, but as skill over the years that you've been on the earth too, right? So, I think you said you're into carpentry and stuff like that. So it's not something you fell out of the womb and already know how to do, right? So that's a skill. It's something you learn, it's a skill. But common sense, some people, just like you said earlier, to me, I always say common sense is no longer common. And that's what I think a lot of people fail at. Oh, it's got to be like this, straight and cut. Why? Why does it need to be like that? How about this way? How about that way? It just so, like I said, I actually used to laugh, like I said, at some of the people that worked up in engineering at my job, because it's like, and just because the computer says it'll fit doesn't mean it's going to. We've made modifications on that. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I work at the machine every day. I think I know. Actually, I had 6 machines, but that's beside the point. My department had to set up. Some of them were 2 or 3 times the length of pickup trucks. But the thing is, it's like, who's going to know it better? But you're right. Sometimes it's just no common sense there at all. Mimi says, 10 minutes to go. Oh, yeah, you're right. You are right. Kurt Urbana, she said, human reaction to aliens. Is it a preparation? That's what I'm saying. I think it comes down to, preparing the people to let out more of this information. So it's not just the little UFOs. Maybe they're going to start spilling more of it. Maybe they're going to start getting more and more of this. I think they're trying to accelerate the slow drip disclosure. And I strongly believe that's what's going on. But we don't have to listen to an Elizondo or any of these other putts that are out there. I think that's a bunch of crap. Just the government. I mean, it's bad enough they lie as it is, but if they're going to let out this information, let it out. I mean, people are not going to freak out that bad again. It's all in how you convey it. I don't know if you guys have seen this either. This is pretty funky. Donut UFO over Switzerland defies explanation. A photographer in Zurich, Switzerland, spotted this glowing object while 4 SpaceX astronauts returned to Earth thousands of miles away. So while their craft was coming in, he noticed this thing up in the sky, right? Of course, that's just an ad. That's nothing. The donut UFO spotted over Switzerland appeared the same night as SpaceX Endeavour capsule re-entry. And the person goes by, I think it's Evix1 Evix is the person. On the night of Monday, November 8th, a photographer in Zurich, Switzerland, who goes by the Twitter handle Evix1 Evix, aimed his camera at the sky and snapped several photos or pictures of what he aptly described as a donut UFO. Composed of several bright blue, concentric rings, the flying object looked as much like a spacecraft as a breakfast treat. Okay. The photographer suspected he had actually glimpsed SpaceX's Endeavour capsule, which was scheduled to return to Earth that night with 4 astronauts who had just concluded a 200-day stay on the International Space Station. British tabloid site, the Daily Mail, even included the eerie photos in a roundup of Endeavour sightings the next day. Okay, but there's a problem with the story. When the Endeavour capsule splashed down a little after 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. rather, Eastern Daylight that night, it landed half a world away in the Gulf of Mexico, more than 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers from Zurich. So yeah, I love the way how they do this. I got this like all kind of blocked here. So that basically says they were saying that it looked like an out of focus planet. I think that's what they said at some point, and that could very well be. A lot of people do that. You always see these really piss poor photos of UFOs, and they're just out of focus objects, right? It could be a plane, it could be a drone. They just take it out of focus. Oh, look at that UFO, and it's clearly not. It's garbage. Because I've caught one guy doing that where you can see it. Wow, yeah, it kind of looks like this. He's trying to zoom in, and that's why it's like that. The second he went down, he went to go put the camera on the ground. Everything else was blurry. Focus. Focus this thing. And then you see, right? While spectators in Louisiana, Alabama, and several other Gulf states saw clear views of the capsule streaming across the sky, it is almost impossible that anyone in Switzerland would have been able to see the crash reentry. Marco Langbroek, an amateur satellite tracker and academic researcher at Leiden University of Netherlands, told Live Science in an email. Any passes of Endeavour over Switzerland prior to landing that night would have been completely in Earth's shadow, i.e. it would have not been illuminated by the sun and hence not visible. Reentry itself was over Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico and would not have been visible from Switzerland. The deorbit burn prior to reentry was over the Indian Ocean, so also not visible to Switzerland. So it says, so if the donut UFO wasn't a SpaceX craft, then what was it? According to Langbroek, the unidentified flying object over Switzerland may not have been flying at all. It could have been garbled image of a distant star. So, of course, they're saying may have been. Was it real or not? I don't know. Sometimes they get some real freaky stuff on here, and they just don't know. Yeah, it looks like some kind of breakfast cereal. Oh, Stephen Grilly, what's going on? He said, the lights on the planets was the indicator of intelligence. Do not reflect anything on Earth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony, it's like I said the same thing. You know, you said, well, your comment was, lost interest in the UFO subject years ago. Yeah, because like I said, to me, I like it if it's authentic. Don't get me wrong. And I'm intrigued by it. I want to know more. But it's small hats compared to what we've seen on the moon and Mars. And it would kind of go into the no crap category that we're seeing UFOs, if they are in fact from out there. It's like, okay, we see what's on the moon, we see what's on Mars, other planets and moons. No kidding. Of course there's UFOs. They could be still within the solar system. I doubt it, but that doesn't mean it's not. It could very well be. So I'm kind of 50-50 to be honest with you. But if they're coming from outside our solar system, knowing that whatever's on the moon and Mars and anywhere else we've actually checked out, and it's not ours, why are we surprised by UFOs? Why are we surprised? There should be no surprise whatsoever, folks. None. If you guys have been on here and have not given me a thumbs up, give the thumbs up, please. Give the like. Slam that bad whamma jamma. What is that? Oh, that is weird. Enrico, is it the breakfast here? So delicious. What do you think? It looks blueberry. What do you guys think? Pretty much, Ron. He said, Ron Review says, if I was a time traveler, you would think I am a god with the technology around me. LOL. True. Well, and that's what they're saying, that they believe God, or anyone's God for that matter, was nothing more than aliens. Because like I said, I even said this myself. I said if I was born in a time before the Egyptian times even, and let's say I lived in a straw hut or some kind of mud house or structure or whatever, and something came out of the sky or was flying in the sky other than a bird or a bug, and it landed in front of me and came out and they looked similar to us, I'm going to consider them a god. They have the, they have the gift of flight. To me, that's a god, you know. So, and that's why they think ancient people interpreted their god was an actual alien. Whether that's 100% true, there's no way to vet that. But it doesn't sound like it's that far-fetched, right? Peter Petrelli said in Prometheus, the movie, they played with the idea that the engineers sent one of their own to Earth to teach us the true path, yet look at the humanity treated him. Him being Jesus. Interesting idea. Yeah, pretty much. Really good movie, too. Tony P said 100%, Chris. It's what you are uncovering that constitutes hard evidence. Well, I mean, you'd love to see a lot more of it, right? And you'd love to see crystal clear. You would love to see all of that. And I agree. I totally agree with you guys. I would love to see absolutely crystal clear stuff. Like I said, I'd love to see somebody just sneak out a photo to me. Hey, let's check this out. And like I said, they can keep it totally anonymous. Psst, guys, you know what I'm saying. So hint, NASA, things like that. It would be awesome. Yay, Mimi, it must be New Year's for you because you were just counting it down. You said Happy New Year's 2022 to you, Chris, and your family. Same thing with you, Mimi. I hope everybody stays healthy and safe and prosperous this New Year. It's awesome. It's only 6 o'clock here, p.m., so it's not too bad here. Kyle, you said, I think that the UFOs and extraterrestrials know that we have smartphones and have been trying to keep a low profile back in the 90s and early 2000s is when it really was popping. Yeah, because, like I said, I mean, a lot of people make this argument. How do we know that there wasn't this many UFOs back in the day, back in the 1900s, early 1900s? It's just because people didn't have cameras. I mean, they did, but they're very crude and very few. But now it's like everybody's got one. They're looking up and they're all taking photos or something. So it can easily be had. But the problem with it is a lot of, people that are just making false videos and BS and total fake and everything else. And they know how to do CGI quite well and all this other crap. Steve Darnum, he said, Chris and everyone must go. Best wishes to all of you and a very happy new year. Love from the UK. All right, man. Much love to you and the family. Have yourself a safe one. Happy New Year's to you as well. You're getting there too, because you're what? Yeah, you're about 5-6 hours, so you're about New Year's as well, if you're not already. Exactly, Tony. Tony P says, Chris, that actually happened on the Pacific Island many years ago when the islanders saw an aircraft for the first time. They thought it was a god. Yeah, because it became a cargo cult, right? And I've said this before, the Army was on their island. And these are indigenous people didn't know, never seen an airplane, never seen anything. So the second they see these things, now they notice that these indigenous people seen them, so they started dropping food to them. So they were eating this food. They were, this is all good. And I think I don't know if it was World War II or what war it was, but after they left, they're looking around going, where did these people go? So they literally made out of bamboo. They made an airplane, a runway, and a couple of little things, hoping they would come back. They'd pray to it, hoping they came back. A cargo cult sprung up from that. So I would think, if I was one of them, look at these things. They have like a gift of space, and they can fly. They can. Oh my God! To me, these people are superior to me. It makes sense. Long Island in New York, he said Putin knows about the aliens. Well, when you go back to way back in the day, I don't care if it was, like I said, the Soviet Union. It doesn't matter who it is. Back in the day, if you were part of any part of the space race, then you pretty much knew what was going on. and it's just going to get passed down. It's no different from here in the United States, where you go way back to the presidents way back in the day, up to this point, it's always been passed on. I think the only difference is it would be more updated, you know, more sophisticated crafts, so on and so forth. Here, Jupiter's moon Ganymede, the largest in the solar system, sing a new squeaky Juno video. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but this is pretty cool. I think that they had this out here before. I'm almost positive they did. Let me play that for you here. Let me get, not that it really matters, we can do this. Now, to me, it sounded like they were getting close to something. I don't know why that did that, but okay. They're still doing it. Going to kill you, man. They're still. Oh, I'll tell you what. That's what we're doing.
And go to the theater and see a
theater. Okay. It seemed like when you heard this thing peak out at the noise, it seemed like it was getting closer and closer to it. It got louder and louder, and then it kind of just went away. Like the noise from Ganymede. It seemed like you could see it where it peaks up. It's like it's gaining, it's getting closer to it, then it goes up, and then it goes back down. At least that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it was centralized on Ganymede. And it's not the first time I heard that. I said, well, I think they called it Ganymede song at one time. All these other weird, ridiculous sayings and stuff. But it's pretty interesting, to say the least, right? In 2014, NASA awarded the Center of Theological Inquiry at Princeton University at $1.1 million grant to study worshipers' interest in and openness to the notion of alien life in a program of research called Societal Implications of Astrobiology. So, again, they're just trying to understand this more and more. They're just trying to see probably how people are coming along. Think about it. They did it in 2014. I'm sure they did it long before that even, right? But it's like every X amount of years, they're trying to see, have people gotten better? Would they still be freaked out? Are they, are they hoping for an encounter, or are they hoping not? Who knows, right? And it's like they're just basically taking these polls, so to speak, and they're just trying to figure it out. I don't know. It just doesn't make... I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't. It's like I said, they could have just simply done a poll on their own site, whether it be NASA, ESA, any of these space agents could at least do that themselves, Elaine M. Millard, you said, I remember the clangers, LOL. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was even saying that. There was a kids' animated TV show in the 70s called The Clangers that made the same sound. Eric, you said yeah, World War II, yep. Exactly. Tony P, sounds like the missus chatting. Elaine, you said, kettle boiled, whistle of an old kettle. It's funny. I don't know if you can, speaking of sounds like that, and I don't know if I even mentioned this to you, but what a lot of people, I didn't know this for years. I was a kid when I learned this, but does anybody know, and don't look this up, but you need to answer right away, what sound or where did Godzilla's roar come from? Ding, 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 ding. First time I heard that, I was like totally blown away. Now I'm talking about the original Godzilla, but I think they modified it to even the new one. But it was done by an old fence. Literally, they opened up this fence and it would make that noise. I went, no way. That's how it started. It blew me away when I first heard that. Now I don't know if they're doing it differently now with the new Godzillas and everything else, but originally, yeah. Explanation says, have you seen a video recently posted of pyramids on the moon? Now, I've seen a lot of people have posted over the years about pyramids on the moon. Like there's one big one that's supposed to be, of course, that was known to be false and faked. I'm not sure about other ones though. Ron Review says, if aliens are experimenting on us, I would say kill them all because they have a different intent than just helping out. Well, yeah, true. But you'd have to find out what their intentions or their motives are, right? So if it is, like you said, to annihilate the human race, like my argument's always been, why didn't they do that a long time ago? Could have easily done it, especially when we weren't so technologically advanced, or at least for our time. You go back way back when, they could have killed us off even easier, even way back in the ancient times, right? And yet, they didn't do it. King of Huco I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the H part of it right, but it says, hello, amigos. Que pasa, amigo? What's going on? What is happening? Yep, sanitize them hands. Definitely do not just handle anything and then just put on your face, your eyes. Yep, you are correct, my friend. Yeah, the original one, Mimi. Robert Morgan, Komodo Dragon. Gojira. Remember that actual Godzilla movie when he said that when the old guy was on the bed? And he keeps saying that. Gojira. It's like, bless you. Love Godzilla. Yeah, it's, like I said, I think it's different now because you said the new Godzilla sound is from lions and cheetah recordings. That one I didn't know of. That one I did not know. Stephen Grilly, you said all these sounds in the celestial heavens are frequencies that affect us here. Everything connected. Yeah, sound waves can either make you feel good or make you sick, right? He said, oh yeah, it says a Chinese cube on the moon. Oh, you're talking about that, what looked like they said a hut or whatever they thought it was. I did a video on that just recently. You can check that out. Explanation, you said it was on Secure Team 10. What was? Oh. Mimi Reaction said, I heard Godzilla is a reaction to the nuclear bombing in Japan. Well, it was actually tests that were done. They were doing it in the oceans and stuff. Of course, they did it on land as well. But according to that, when they did it in the oceans, of course, radiation, it, basically mutated. Supposed to be an iguana, I thought, at one time, a marine iguana. But pretty wild either way. Mimi Rex says the Japanese have so many monsters. Yeah, it's supposed to be Mothra, Gamera, Godzilla, Ghidra. There's a ton of them. Yep. Custom Tailored One, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. You said there's certainly large buildings and other structures on the moon. Absolutely. Like I said, I got a new one coming out. You guys are going to love this one. It'll be the first video of the year, the new year. Moon, baby. Tony P. God, trying to follow the chat and now it's like looking at a slot machine in operation. Oh, I love it. It's like, oh, I know. Believe me, I know. It's crazy, right? Chris Turner says, I think they are just scientists, Chris, monitoring us and all life here for years. That's why different crafts, etc. Happy New Year when it comes. Oh yeah, no doubt. And I believe that, Chris. You may very well be right on the, they're just scientists kind of thing. I believe you're right. And Happy New Year's to you as well. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of times they say either A, we have been put here, or our DNA has been altered. So it could be a combination of both. How do we know? Some people say, well, like the moon was, at one time wasn't here. There's a time without the moon, and that it might have been like it could have been like the Noah's Ark kind of thing, and it brought life to this planet. They just basically put us on the planet, and this is where we started to live. And of course, they can monitor us from the moon. To me, it's pure speculation, but knowing how much we've been lied to, is it really super far-fetched to not believe that? I don't know. I really don't. I'm going to call you King Mundo. It's shorter. He said, oh, man, I've been wanting some Subway. That chicken and with bacon looks insanely good. Yeah, it does. I haven't even had that yet. It's pretty good, though. I usually have the BMT, which is not bad. Or the steak bomb. That's good shit. Flowers 1948 said Foley artists are amazing. Even back in the Godzilla days, they could come up with the best sounds. Yeah, they could. Considering, you got to admit, you go back to the original Godzilla show. Talk about super cheesy, men and these costumes and stuff like that, and all this other stuff. And I love it when you see like Godzilla give somebody a right hook. One of these other monsters, they punch him, and oh my god, it's hilarious. Like the one like King Kong, the newest one, and you see King Kong just like haul it off and give him a right hook, punch him right in the chops. Oh, it's friggin' hilarious. Sean, what's going on? He said, nice hat, Chris. Well, I appreciate it. I was thinking about wearing the dunce hat, but I decided not to. I think I'd go with the 2022. Oh, let's see. Enrico, he said, I like Secure Team because of the spooky music. Gets me in the mood for the mysterious. Woo! Maybe I should start doing that. What do you guys think? Mysterious music in the background? Ron Reviews, he said, I remember the USA sent a MOAB bomb for some reason to the moon. Why was that? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I mean, they did have, and I forget the name of the spacecraft now, but there was two spacecraft that one was supposed to follow the other. So one was supposed to slam into the, and I think they had small nuclear warheads on them. One would hit the moon's surface, and of course the ejector would come up. The other one would sniff all of the ejector, whether it be water vapor, maybe different gases, whatever they can get from these instruments. It would then relay it back to Earth before it, in fact, crashed into the planet as well. Now, I forget what the twin crafts were called, because this went back some years. Probably what, mid-2000s? Maybe early 2000s? No, I think it was mid-2000s, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even more than that, maybe 2012. Roughly, I forget. But there was two twin spacecraft that would do that. And then they had where they had the third stage rocket actually deliberately crash into the moon. And of course, this was during the Apollo missions where, the moon would ring out like a bell for like hours at a time. So they thought maybe perhaps this moon is hollow. And even if it's not hollow as people think, it's like, in other words, a whole new planet inside there. It's like, like that new movie coming out where, even if it's not hollow like we're thinking, it's probably partly hollow because of these probably massive lava tubes, ancient lava tubes underground, right? That's what they're thinking about doing. They're thinking about actually, making a structure or structures like a city inside one of these lava tube caves, so they can stay away from the, of course, a certain temperature they can stay at, and stay away from the sun as well. But funny enough, you can see sometimes people will record what looks like a UFO coming out of a crater. Imagine that. It's like it could be coming out from under it, and yeah. So maybe they've been there all this time. Terry Kelling, what's happening? Hi, Chris. Happy New Year to you and the family. Same back to you, Terry. Good to see you in there, man. Good to see you. Kyle Harvey said, no music, Chris. I think we're good. Oh, yeah. I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice. It has this nice extra flair and stuff like that. But just tell it raw like it is. I think I've seen that meme. You said, Chris, in Tokyo, there's a huge statue of Godzilla next to the Toho. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I've seen it. Long Island, New York says, I love Secure Team. He's got a good channel, there's no doubt. Kyle says, keep it professional. Long Island, New York, he said, Mars Anomaly Secure Team collab. That would be pretty interesting. I'd love to be on with him. That would be pretty cool. just no third phase. Sean says, only 6 months to wait for some data from the James Webb Telescope. Why so long? Any ideas? Well, it's got to get out there, and of course, it's still got to get to the mile mark out there. It's going to run tests and all this other crap, kind of like what the rovers they do when they get on Mars. Of course, it doesn't take X amount of time. It might take 2 or 3 weeks, but it'll stretch its legs, do all kinds of function tests, everything else. It'll kind of wander around, make sure everything's okay, and then of course it'll start giving out information. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I just can't wait till we start seeing some data come from that thing. And of course, they're not going to tell us anything, but I'm hoping they start doing that and say, oh yeah, 8 billion miles away, there's an alien structure. Of course, nobody's ever going to be able to get to it, so it doesn't matter at that point, right? We were talking about sounds, Terry Kelling. We were talking about the sounds coming from Ganymede, and the sound it was making. It sounded like it was like the sound was coming up. It peaked and then it started going away, like the spacecraft when it was going next to Ganymede. It sounded like it was getting closer and closer to the source, and then it went away from it. So in other words, it come up on it, it kept going, and that was the end of that. So I said, speaking of sounds, that's how that got brought up. Jimmy said, Saturn ring makers are creepy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, knowing if those are actually constructed, the rings, and like I just done that video recently of Jupiter, people are talking about like a ring city, like we were going to do here outside of Earth, where you had this huge ring, and inside, picture like a bicycle tire. And inside that tire would be all like grass and structures and everything else inside there. And of course it would turn, giving you gravity, and it'd be like artificial gravity. And now picture that same kind of ring city, flat, actually built on the rings of like, what the hell? That is weird. This thing like went, did your picture just go off, guys, or was it just me? Maybe just the way I seen it. But like I said, it's kind of like if you take the whole thing and like the rings of Saturn, you'd think if it was just on that rings and they built them on the edge of that. I don't think it's too far-fetched. Happy New Year to you as well, Pashon. Good to see you in there, man. Hope you and the family have a good one. It's a good year for everyone. Explanation says, I think home telescopes over the next 20-year tops will get so good that they'll be able to see the moon structures. The light cannot gone forever. Yep. Yeah, because there's nobody out there that's been doing it because some of them actually hoax it. But this is the reason why I depend on stuff from like the LROC. Of course, the Apollo missions are, we're going to call them genuine, but they're not genuine because they're basically heavily censored and washed out and everything else. But we can still see things a lot better because the LROC, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera is actually only 75 miles off the lunar surface. So there isn't a telescope on the planet, I don't care how big it is going to be able to see like that thing can. So even if you got the largest one in the observatory, I'm sure you can see them with something that big, but anything smaller, a lot smaller. Some people claim that they can see this stuff, but no. Let me see. Equalizer, I know a girl that had a big ring. Ah. Terry Kelly says, secure team has that annoying background music to control this video. Yeah, I mean, I was never a big fan of that. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad compared to some of them. Remember some of them like a hot rock. There's a time and place for that. Putting it in a video is not the answer, you know. I've seen a lot of people jump their ass because of that too. It's like, what are you doing, man? That sounds like Crash. Get rid of that crap out of there. Which I don't blame them. Nobody wants to be distracted by that. They want to see or hear what's going on, right? AM PM says a Dyson sphere or an Elysium ring would amplify radiation poisoning. Bad idea. Well, I don't know if that's entirely true, but either way, I mean, they'll figure a way around it, right? But as far as the rings of Saturn, if they're being built, now according to NASA and all these other space agencies, I'll get it out, I promise. Maybe I'm just drinking too, it's good shit. Anyway, they claim it's just rocks, broken up small moons, or whatever it may be. It's just there's all this particles and dust and big fragments of rock and everything else. But how is it stacking itself like on that particular ring? It simply doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I get it can be layers of it, but they're so tall and they're just on one ring. Now, don't get me wrong, it may be as close to the gravity and it's in that sweet spot to be able to do that. But just on one edge and that's it, nothing more? I don't know if I buy that. 786 Auto says, I'm back. Just finished my old year dinner. My old year? Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. I get you now. Yeah, you guys are making me hungry now. Talking about dinner. Man. Pashon, you said, your question was, could the Hubble telescope see the moon good? They claim that it can't. They said it's too close that it can't. That's bull. In fact, I think you can look these photos up. There's actually photos of the moon from Hubble. So, and like I said, if I was the designer of this, obviously it was designed to look out into the universe. We get that. But I would actually build this thing so I could look at every planet in our solar system with ease. So, in other words, there's different settings, multiple settings, probably multiple wavelengths, so on and so forth. So I think it went like this. It looked at every single planet in our solar system and could see with great detail, because think about how far this thing can zoom, just really take a snapshot of the universe or different parts of it. So you can't tell me they can't take they can probably see like I said before, like a gnat on a buffalo's rear end on the surface of Mars. So this, it helped, doing more trips, going to Mars and probably other planets and everything else because of what they've seen. Look at some of these planets that, in our solar system and then look at them. What was one of them? was it, which moon was it? Was it Triton or Titan? Where you can see like one like patch, like long patch of semi-decent detail. The rest of it is completely blurred. Why? It's nothing there. It's just a planet. There's nothing on it living, right? Why are they so hell-bent on just saying we're the only life ever, any kind of life ever, around our solar system? I don't believe that's true. I think it was teeming, if not more teeming, or still teeming of life. And it could be any life. It could be organics, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a human or a civilization or anything like that. But you know there's some kind of life on these moons or planets. Eric Gower says, Tic Tacs are ours. I believe that too. Ron Review says the rings might be a fuel source for the UFOs. Yeah, maybe, but I'm thinking they're more like we've seen that very large when it was on the moon, it was taking plasma from the sun, rather. It was huge, right? It was just like supposedly taken off. Now, some people say there's nothing more than a plasma ball, and it built up enough to where it just escaped from the sun. Both ways are equally intriguing. So I think it's pretty cool. Rob Eberhard says, Happy New Year to you all, Space Nuts. Have a safe and healthy year ahead. You do the same, Rob. I hope you have a safe and prosperous New Year to you and yours. Peter Petrelli says Secure Team is great. He has a copy and paste channel, but Chris is the real researcher. Discovered difference. What's puzzling is how Chris does have more subscribers. That's an anomaly. Well, yeah, it is, but it's not, because YouTube, who knows? I mean, there could be other people saying, don't give people like these, don't give them too much interaction with a lot of people. In other words, don't put them in the suggested side of videos. Don't do that. Just kind of just suppress them a little bit. The only reason why you get any kind of subs lately is if anybody else, mentions your channel. Other than that, you don't hear anything about it. Which, me, folks, if I see a good channel, I'll give them props. If I think they're doing good work, I'm going to pass along their channel. I think they should get more views because they're doing the work. They're putting the work in. So they deserve, whether you believe them or not, they're still putting in the hard work. They're trying to find the truth. So therefore, I'm willing to back them. That's all. And I think that's, I had some people mention my channel before. And like Cliff High, when he had mentioned my channel, he was talking about Antarctica, the one we had done a while back. And he mentioned it. Heck, I think I probably got like 2,000 subscribers off of him. I'm like, good Lord. So I went and I thanked him on his channel. And great guy, very knowledgeable, very, very smart. And he doesn't pull any punches. He's a good guy. But he was being filtered so bad that he decided to, what is he on now? He's on a different platform now. He's not on YouTube. His channel's still there. You can look at Cliff High, but he's moved to another one. I don't think it's Twitter. It's another one. Yeah, it's not Twitter. But he's on another one because they're literally doing that to channels. They're stunting their growth. And that's not right. Whatever happened to free speech? Now, I understand when they're talking about people who are, these conspiracists, and they're talking about, 9/11, whatever you may think of it, they're trying to put the kibosh to that kind of thing. But how is this hurting anybody? If you're trying to do an honest, you're trying to do honest work to bring this stuff out, I don't see how it's conspiracy. Nowhere. Especially when you can actually prove it by looking at these photos. And we've proved it a million times. Sean, you said, where'd it go? I see you have a good ratio of likes to watching. Yeah, I mean, I wish there was more likes because I see a lot of people like really watching the videos, and it's not maybe a quarter of thumbs up on it. It's like, why not? I would just give it a thumbs up every time. It's like me, I'm sub to a lot of channels. I'm done watching it, boom, thumbs up. It's an automatic for me because it was worth me watching. It was a great program. And the work that they're putting in, they deserve a thumbs up. That's just me though. I believe everybody should, and I don't care who it is. If you guys are making, videos and you're doing honest work that you believe is honest, you should get noticed and you should get all kinds of thumbs up. Scientific search for extraterrestrials. What's going on? Happy 2022 disclosure year all. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be. Really do. Happy New Year's to you as well. I really do hope so. Kyle Harvey said, I share the channel all the time on Facebook and other platforms. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Oh, is he on? That's right, BitChute. That's right. Brian Chester, thank you. He's on BitChute. And if you, I mean, he's very knowledgeable. He talks about anything from, it could be the Omicron, could be under these viruses, could be talking about a lot of things. He said he had like a team that was looking into the Antarctica photo, and that's why he kind of showcased one of the videos that I had done. And because of his talk about the channel, like I said, it jumped up. You wouldn't otherwise get any kind of jumping, subscribers, but from another channel. But that's why I don't mind helping out other people, because if it helps them out, nobody wants to. Let's say one of you guys are making videos and you go, listen, I put my hard-earned work into this. I just want to get this out. I feel like I'm doing people justice. And you never get noticed for it, or you never get any new subs. You feel like you're just spinning wheels. You're not going anywhere. So you want as many subs because you want to get this information out. So that's why I try to help if I can. Richard M., you should watch Rupert Sheldrake's The Science Delusion. Yeah, I'll have to check into that. Eric Gower said Cliff High is a smart dude, fun to listen to. Yeah, he is. Like I said, he's very smart, very knowledgeable. He doesn't come off as a clown. He just knows his stuff. Jay McGuffey, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in there. So, hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Happy 2022. Well, we're not there yet. You might be, but we're getting there. And so, like I said, I'm looking forward to a better new year. I'm hoping everything goes well for everybody here. Not just, even if you're doing well, you just want it to be better, right? Why not be even better than last 2 years, which were somewhat garbage due to this COVID and all this other trash. But, excuse me, what we can hope for is that it's a better new year. And start getting more positive side, meaning get, the economy getting better, everything getting better, start getting built back up. Tony B said, okay, time for me to leave. Thank you, Chris, for all you have put out in 2021, and looking forward to 2022. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you, Tony P. Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for your support, as always. Let's hope for a better New Year, and you and the family have a good one there, right? Have a good weekend. Mars League, he said, a lot of fake Mars Anomalies channels now, many from India. You go figure. Yeah, I know. Gotta love it. MSW, he said, who's seen the UFOs on Webb's takeoff? See, I haven't seen that yet, but somebody else had mentioned it, even here in the chat. But I heard that as well, so I'm just kind of curious myself. I have to check into that. We all share the channel and tell friends like I do. Oh, I see what you're saying. You said, oh, and tell friends like I do. Stupid talk to text. I tried that before. That was the last time I've done it because, yeah, it'll come up with some real bizarre words, I seen a yellow truck. They didn't turn out to be like that. Yeah. Scientific Search for Extraterrestrials says there are channels of people eating 20,000 calories or more and they don't get banned, and promoting binge eating is worse than any crime and they don't get banned. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, I've seen like totally ridiculous videos. Like you said, it's like promoting certain things, and yet these people get away with it. I'm just confused. I'm just like, whatever. you know, but yet this is doing no harm at all, and you're trying to spread the truth, trying to get this information out. Well, can't have that. But is it them doing it or somebody else kind of nudging them along to say, any channels like that, just kind of suppress them a little bit, you know? You know, don't give them any, like, suggested on the right-hand side of the screen. Just keep them kind of, you know, nulled out, so to speak. And that's not right. Sally Kelly, what are you talking about? He said, where's the super chat? Stephen Grilly said, if we launch all of our nukes and point them towards Earth, threatening all life, not one nuke will hit. We will have a UFO intervention. I am convinced they are invested in our... I think so too. I mean, if you got like, at least that's what's told. I don't know this firsthand, but when you hear about these stories about how they've gone over to these missile silos or these bases and literally shutting them down, it's like, is it another country doing that, going, haha, we have the power to do this, maybe from an EMP? I don't know. Or if it is actual UFOs, are they just, obviously the message is clear. Stop doing that. Stop being warmongering idiots. You know, get your crap together, become, a human race so that you'll progress and you'll start to move on. And of course, if people can't do that, then we're just going nowhere. Let me see. Scientific search for extraterrestrials, like that crazy guy Eric the Electric. I think he works with McDonald's, Hershey's factory, and Reese's, and all other fattening food corporations. Man. Arigawa. I accidentally hit the rewind about 2 hours ago. That's not good, is it? Yeah, Kyle, you might have to do that, brother. You might have to get yourself an upgrade. P. Ferrero, he said, technology of this planet is too scattered. Money and power keeps the world separated. That's what it comes down to. Can you imagine if you can get past that, the monetary, where there is no, if you could treat everybody, like let's say they had a program and it's worldwide, right? Where the government or whatever, everybody gets the same kind of house, doesn't have to be identical, but pretty much the same square footage to live in. You get yourself a car, everybody works at a job, and it's pretty much the same pay. And I'm not talking about drastic difference of like $5 to $15 difference an hour. I'm talking about pretty much within a few dollars, the same pay. Or, well, I should say, when you do that, you're paying for your house and your car, and you don't really actually know. It's like basically like taxes, you're just paying it. But you don't have to want for anything. You're already automatically given that. So by you working, you just put it back into the government. So you're really not having to struggle to make ends meet because you're getting the ends. You're just paying it back to the government because you're just paying in, because you're working. So the trade-off is you get whatever you want in life, and they get paid. So, because obviously they're going to put this stuff and give you this stuff, right? So in other words, it's kind of like the analogy when they had like folks from like religious schools, right? They put all the boys in the same uniform and all the girls in the same uniform. Why? So nobody looks at the other one differently and thinks, oh wow, they're on welfare, or this one's hair is rich and snooty. They put everybody on an even keel so that everybody respects each other, doesn't look at each other differently. It's kind of the same way. But if you can get past the monetary and get past all of that, the world will be a better place. Because think about it. You fight over resources and you fight over what? Money. So if you can get by all that, the world's a better place. Nobody's left behind kind of thing. Well, Richard M., you said, you make a great point. You said if that were true, no nuke test would have been successful. Well, testing's one thing. using it against somebody else is a different thing. So they're probably saying, oh my God, we don't want them to do that either, but they're not doing it towards somebody else. Now, although we've had over the years all of these different bombings and nuclear, bombs dropped, and well, not all of these, make it sound like there's a billion of them. But the thing is, it's like, if that's true, that's why they had the space treaty. Was it something that was agreed upon with others from out there, meaning aliens or other civilizations, and our elite leaders here on Earth, where they said, listen, we can't alter your, your path. In other words, where you guys are going to go, whether you're going to bet yourself, but we're just not going to have you do this outside of your planet. It's not going to happen. Now, we prefer, in fact, we're just going to discourage anytime you go to launch something, we're going to just make it inoperable, and that's the end of that. So, but you still see this going on. You still see warring going on. Maybe they have the thing like Star Trek, they're not to interfere with any of these civilizations, let them do it on their own, but it's a no-no if you go out in space with these warheads and whatever else. So, not going to happen. Nacho Libre, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, everyone, and Mars Anomaly, it is Nacho from the future. It is now 1/1/2022. 2022 here, and the time says 42. So, yep, 42 minutes after the hour. That's good to see you there, Nacho. Glad to, glad you're here. Robert Dupree says, long-time listener, first-time chatter. You rock as always, Chris. Well, I appreciate that, Robert. Do appreciate that. Scientific search for extraterrestrial. You said, yeah, the guy is crazy. He ate like 50,000 calories once. It sounds like that. What is that? That documentary? What is it? Super Size Me. That's what it sounds like. That was crazy. Guy almost basically ate himself to death. Mars League, you said you were doing the hard work of chopping down the wood of gullible skeptics to make it the conspiracy theory true, Chris, and we love it. Well, I mean, I think, like I said, it just comes down to, again, if you're really putting in honest work and you're not trying to just blow smoke up people's rear ends, then people, I think, respect that. I mean, there's a lot of channels I respect and I watch over and over again. Some of them I can't be bothered with because they're nothing but trash, because I can see that they're disinfo or they're making this stuff up or whatever the case is. I'm not going to back them. What's the point? Because then it's basically you give yourself a bad name because you're referring these people and turn out they're nothing but trash. I don't want to do that. But I do want to encourage people to watch channels that I believe are, just good channels, generally doing honest work. And I think everybody would agree with that. Mark Daniel, I hope you're wrong. He said, Happy New Year. Would you say gird your loins? 2022 is going to be rough. I don't know. I think it's going to get better. I'm a little more optimistic. I think it's going to slowly get better, and I think we're going to be doing okay. Hopefully. Again, fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys in a sense, because you said it sounds like socialism to me. 786 out of 2, you said, not good, Chris. I live through it, and it's called communism. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying if there's a way that somehow, and I don't mean to be under control either. Don't get me wrong on this, folks. I'm not talking about like a Nazi kind of thing. I'm talking about if there was a way that everybody can be equal, instead of this person's super poor, this one's super rich, this super rich guy craps on the super poor. If they can somehow make it an even field kind of thing, people would be respected more. They would look at each other as a fellow human being instead of trash over there or rich person over here or look at me, I'm special kind of thing. Nobody'd look at each other like that. That wouldn't be the case. I'm not saying that, I know what you guys are saying because you're paying in, But what I'm saying is that would be the only trade-off. You just say, hey, listen, I got everything I ever want in my life, so when I work, I don't have to worry about needing food because I'm just paying in whatever I make. So, so the governments are still be able to give back every time you're paying in, like millions of people are paying in. So they're still able to give back and still help people build and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that should strictly happen. I'm just saying somewhere on the idea is that everybody's equal. I don't think that's considered communism or socialism, right? I just see it as like everybody here, I consider you an equal. I don't even know you personally, but I think you should be just as equal as I am. You know, I don't have it all, but there's a lot of people out there, like out in the world, that have a lot less. And I just wish that wasn't the case. Because then everybody would see, like I said, again, as equal, and that's a start. And then everybody can basically start to see each other as an equal and be a human race as opposed to, you know, black, white, that or different, you know, whatever. And constantly warring with each other over pieces of land and all this other crap. Oh yeah, Mimi, you're right about that. There's always them dirt bags, right? He said even if you wear uniforms, people will find ways to bully you. Oh yeah, they don't like the color of your hair or, you know, whatever, because you know there's not much you can change if you're wearing the same shoes, shirt and pants and everything else, right? But yeah, you're right. There'll be them few people. Nicholas Papa, Senior, what's going on? He said, oh my God, missed you all. What's going on, Nicholas? Good to see you in there. Ron Review says, how about the trillions of dollars that Pentagon says just vanishes like nothing is just said where our tax money goes? I think it's like the black ops. They just take whatever the hell they need. So I don't know what happened to it. Like I said, hey, maybe John over there hit the candy store. It's $8 trillion, dude. What's a couple trillion? Yeah, exactly, Mars League. He said nobody's equal in socialism. You got that right. Guy said, speaking of trash, I'm sick of seeing all of this people litter over the earth. Well, I mean, it's not in their backyard. Why do they care? Here's a perfect example. Where I work, you know, it's basically a large grocery store, right? And what's funny about it, and it's not funny actually, but you come in on a Monday, because you don't work on, well, you work on Saturday morning, but you don't work on Sunday. You come in on a Monday, find stuff all over the place. And I'm sure you guys have even seen this because you're all consumers as well. And I'll go into like, let's say the cookie section, like sweets and stuff like that. There'll be a package of grade A, like filet mignon steak stuffed in the shelf. Why? Because it's not theirs. Well, I wanted it, but I'm good. Really? Do you know what meat costs nowadays? I don't care. It's not mine. But I said, you know what I'd love to do, and I even said this to my coworkers, I'd love to go in there, just go into their house, open their freezer, take everything they own, and throw it out on a 100-degree day. How do you like that? I promise you they'd be a little upset about it. So, yeah, but they don't care. They simply don't care. Me, I go, you know what? I don't need this. I'm going to go ahead and put it back. There's no reason to do that, because what happens is then you and I, as the consumer, the rest of us, the prices go up. So how is this helping anybody? It's not. Stephen Grilly said the whole missile silo situation is them showing force. Essentially, it's them saying, don't F with us. We own these missiles, including your rear end, basically. Yeah, I mean, they're just saying, listen, you guys are just here, basically occupying the earth. Doesn't mean you own it. Think about it. And it kind of makes sense. Now, if that's true, that is, right? Kyle, he said, I'll be very straight up. It's BS. It's F and BS. Kyle, you said if you take it off the shelf and you do not want it, then get it, want to get it and take it back where you got it from. Well, yeah, and it's as easy as that, right? But do they do it? Nope. I just don't get it. I just go, wow. People can be so careless, but again, it's not their money. They don't care. They don't own it. They didn't purchase it. And I find that just very selfish because, like I said, at some point, because it's a lot of waste, you know, don't get me wrong, to these companies, it's a big tax write-off. They don't give a crap. But on the other side of the token, their cost goes up, so then they're gonna transfer that cost over to the consumer, you and I. So it doesn't help us at all. Just hits us in the wallet even harder, right? $786 Auto, he said, think everyone has their talents, and that is what they should be valued by. If they use them to their and others' benefit. Yeah, I agree too. It's kind of like what Elon Musk said. He said he didn't believe in high school and stuff like that. He thought it was garbage. And because the reason why he said this is obviously you need common sense scale spelling and arithmetic and stuff. But he said what they should do is obviously if you can pass these regular classes, general classes, what they should do is try to find your field of expertise or something you're incredibly, maybe you just got a natural talent. Like me, I've always messed around with electronics since I was younger. Always did it all on my own. Never went to school for it. Never went any of that junk. I would learn how-to books, DIY books, things like that. So I would mess around with this stuff and then figure it out for myself. Troubleshoot it, whatever. So he was basically saying, find their talents and then work with that. Make them much better at it. Teach them that. Not stuff that's clearly not going to happen again. Oh, look, it's polar varies. The British are coming, kind of bullshit. They always say, obviously history can repeat itself. To a certain degree, yes, but if you haven't learned from your mistakes, that is. But other than that, come on. I think he's spot on. See what this person's capable of, and then run with it. Give them all the tools they need to make them as perfect as they can at their job or their like I said, what they're good at, what their skill is. Mimi reacts, she said, I work in retail. It's crazy how people behave. Yeah, you'd be surprised. And you know what? It's mind-boggling sometimes to see some of the way that people react or just act in a place. I'm going, what are we, 3 again? Wow. And you wonder why aliens don't want to come down and talk to us, right? They're like, no, I think we're good. Sean, you said, we don't have to be equal, but there should be a minimum standard of living. And this minimum standard must be a good standard. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, basically in a nutshell. Yep. Pete Ferreira says $100 billion disappeared from the pandemic fund. FBI only found $2.5 billion. Yeah, I wonder why. Swish. People are putting that money right in their pocket. Have a great day. It's all a money-making scheme. And what I mean by that is it's one thing to have a pandemic, okay? I don't care what it is. But when they say, oh, by the way, these shots are free, I think we talked about this before where I think it was Jimmy Roberts, the real Jimmy Roberts, said he went and he was in one of these lines. This is when it was first started. I think it was in 2020, where maybe the beginning of 2021, whatever it was. And what he did was he went into this line. He was driving in his car, and they said, "Well, can we see your license?" Because they want to make sure that you got the vaccine. But they asked him for his medical card too. He's like, "Why?" "Oh, it's just for ID purposes." Come to find out, charged him $300. His healthcare provider, $300 for that. So, okay, times thousands of millions of people. Somebody's making some serious bank here. And sure in heck ain't you or I. Kyle, thank you again for your support. I do appreciate you, man. You said small effort to keep clean makes a huge difference. That's true. Absolutely true. Thank you again, Kyle. Nicholas Papas, Senior, appreciate you. Thank you for your support, sir. And hope everybody, again, has a good New Year's. Mimi said, Chris, absolutely. If I were an alien, I would not want to land on Earth. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to talk to the leaders, if you will, if you want to call them even civilized, um, but yeah, I mean, it's weird, man. It's just like they're looking, going, and if they're looking at our TV programs or just the way we function with each other's country, warring all the time. They're going, these people are barbarians. Why in the heck would we want to socialize with these people? Why? They're so far, they need so much work, there's just no way around it. There's no way. And I don't ever see it getting better unless there's a drastic change in society. I really don't. Kyle Harvey said somebody's going to pay for those shots. You're right, but how much of it is being put in people's pockets? It's one thing to say, okay, we're going to pay the actual people who researched this and made these vaccines. That I get, makes perfect sense. But when you have money disappearing from these, where it should be going, it's not being channeled to them, it's getting channeled to somebody else's pockets. That I don't believe in. Sean, you said, wow, the fireworks are going crazy here. I've never heard anything like it. Yeah, we'll be seeing the same thing in about 5 more hours. Andrew Cole, happy 2022 from Scotland, everyone. That's awesome. Happy New Year's to you, man. Scientific search for extraterrestrials, or like the actor Paul Walker, who died because he was addicted to fast speed. Well, keep in mind, he was the passenger, though, right? But regardless of the fact, it's like, don't get me wrong, I like to drive fast. I mean, I like to mess around and stuff like that, but that was back in the day where, you didn't care to do 150, 170 miles an hour. You didn't give a damn. You're just like, oh, yeah. Put on some, Judas Priest, your hair's on fire as you're going down the highway. I mean, yeah, you did stupid shit. Because if you think back now, get a blowout in the front tire. Another car just makes a lane change. Of course, we always did this late at night. It would be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But still, you still didn't want to take that chance. Now you think to yourself, man, how reckless I was. Talk about stupid. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I did this every time. It's like, I did it a couple of times, that was the end of that. But, it's still, you could die from anything, right? We know that. But it's like I see people driving now, they're like, I could be doing 80 miles an hour on the highway. People are still going by me. I do 65, 70 now. I put on the cruise. Enjoying that good fuel economy. Oh, yeah. What's that? 47, 48 miles to the gallon? Oh, just chilling. Don't care. And then I watch everybody just fight each other trying to get around because this is like 3 or 4 lane highway. And the people are literally jockeying back and forth, getting pissed off, road raging. I just go, look at that. It's funny. Got the XM cranking in the car. Listen to some good old rock and roll. I watch these people. I think it's hilarious. I go, slow down. What's the big deal here, folks? Mike Knapp says, Happy New Year, all. Fireworks are going. Oh, yeah. Long Island, New York says, great stream. Nicholas Papa says, COVID-19 maybe a precursor of what is coming. All of these stimulus checks are going to bite us in the booty. Why do you think the money is coming? Where do you think the money is coming from? Well, the thing is, I don't know about stimulus checks. I haven't heard about stimulus checks in a long time. But I mean, at one point when they gave out, what is that, 1 or 2 of them, or at least a couple of them, who knows, right? Hold on, thing just jumped on me here. But I mean, remember when the first check came out, they were like, "Oh yeah, you won't have to pay this back. Everything's good." The next one, yeah, you're gonna get slammed. So I mean, I really don't care. I said I don't need the money. You can keep your money. I don't give a darn, And it has nothing to do with whether you're rich, middle class, or lower class. I don't need the money. I don't want to bite me in the shorts later on. I don't could really care. Kyle Harvey said, I'll do 80 tops. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is like a couple times I've done it, and that was the end of that. I mean, you know, but you learn as you go along. It's like, here's a perfect example. When you're young, let's say you're early 20s, right? You got your friend, yeah, man, rip out, power brake, do all kinds of, and of course, like a bunch of fools, you do it. But it's like a buddy of mine, Billy. God bless him. He had, I think it was a 74 Charger, nothing special, just a 318. But he'd power brake it all the time. Like, he just, well, he blows the drive shaft out of the thing. But it was because it was a little shorter. He'd go back under the end, of course, he'd put it back in. But every now and then he would do that. So one day he says, hey, you need a lift home? I said, yeah. So he does it again. Drive shaft comes out of the rear end. Bang, 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 banging on the floor. I said, let me ask you a question, Bill. He says, what? When you break your car, and I mean for good until you fix it again, how many of your friends are giving you money? Going like this, hey, man, I'm really sorry that happened. How many? Oh, nobody. I said, then why do you do it? What's the point? I had somebody do that one time, and I said, I didn't care. It was a ratty old car. I didn't give a crap. But then I thought about it. I said, but this is my car that gets me from A to B. Do I really want to blow this thing up? If I do that, then I'm going to have nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. If you like doing drifting, drag racing, have a separate car, not your daily. Have a separate car and make sure you get a bank account to go with it because it can become very costly. So in that aspect, you don't care. But, you know, as you get older, you just kind of like, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need tickets, higher insurance. Don't need to kill myself nor anybody else. So, yeah. Nicholas, Papas, you said, is it really a bad recession coming? Some say maybe, but it depends, man. If the COVID can go away and they can force more people back to work, I still don't know what these people are doing. They're not working, but yet they're home. I mean, I get the idea of, you know, unemployment. I wouldn't want to be getting unemployment because you're going to get screwed come tax time, big time. I'd figure a way around it. I'd get another job, 2 jobs. I wouldn't care. Before I had to, you know, go to unemployment. But, you know, they're saying, got to watch out for your money because you don't know what's coming next year. But, again, the COVID goes away. Everybody else is, you know, starts getting better. Force the people back to work. Let's get back to work, people. Let's do our thing. Get the economy cranked up. This won't be an issue. Now, will that happen? We don't know. Yeah, Kyle, yeah, he said, I did blow the right rear tire on the front-wheel drive van they have just a few months ago at 75 miles an hour, and it was not fun. Exactly. See, this is what people don't realize. You know, anything could happen on the road. You could hit a piece of steel that blows out your tire. Now, I've got all new tires on my car, so, you know, I did that one several months ago because getting ready for winter time, and because there was a lack of, you know, getting supplies, whether it be food, they've said even tires are getting harder to get. So I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get it. So I did that. Make sure you get new tires on it, less chance of that. But that doesn't mean you can't hit something sharp on the freeway and then blow out a tire. If you're going much slower, you get a lot better chance of pulling out of it. And like you said, it helps to be an experienced driver. You know, I've never had that happen, but my cousin did. He was in his Delta 88, flying up the highway and had a front blowout. Because that car was so darn heavy, that's what saved him. Because it just basically floated until finally went down and he just pulled over and he was fine. But I think he's doing over 90 miles an hour with it. You just got to be careful. Yeah, there you go. You put all 4 brand new tires on it. Got to. Yep, just got to be careful. Oh, yeah, it's nothing to spend that kind of money, Kyle. $670 for 4 tires, yeah. But here's the thing. Unless you're driving excessively or driving like a mental case, you're not going to wear the tires up prematurely. And they cost that much. You should get years out of those tires, of course, unless you don't drive it that much and end up getting dry rotted. You have to get new ones anyway. But you get the idea. Oh, that's the same thing this here as well. He said in Washington State, deer running out in front of the car, a usual occurrence. Yeah, I mean, that happens here as well. This is why everybody loves hunting season. Like, yeah, baby. So you can cut down the deer population because the darn things are all over the place. Yeah, you had all the weight in the back, Kyle. Yep, that'll do it. That will do it. Speaking of doing it, we're going to jump on off of this. It is 7:10 here, my time, Eastern time. So we're going to jump on off this bad whamma jamma. This bad whamma jamma. Let me see. Do it this way. But it's been a good year, folks. It's been awesome as far as all you folks and stuff like that. And a lot of times we kept each other company through all of this BS with the COVID and all that stuff. So I was happy to be here, and I'm glad you guys were here as well to be able to share that time with me as well. I've said it over and over again. Great bunch of folks. Love you guys, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love all the support you guys have given over the year and years past. And again, nothing but love for you guys. And I appreciate you, each and every one of you. I really do. And like I said, we're just going to roll on this next new year coming up. Going to be knocking these things out. Like I said, the first video is going to be about one of the moon photos. And I know you folks have seen this a million times. You're going to go, really? I didn't even know that was there. But wait until you see this one. This one's cool. I think you guys are going to like it a lot. So for all the people that's already had their New Year's, Happy New Year's to you and your family. Please be healthy. At least we hope so. Try to be. And hopefully it's a prosperous and healthy New Year, like I said. And for the ones that haven't had it yet, I got about 5 years. 5 years, whew, it's a long friggin' year. I got 5 hours before, mine hits midnight. So got a little time to chill with the family and friends. And then, of course, we're going to welcome in the new 2022. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Stay safe. Don't do too much drinking unless you're home or just going to be sleeping it off at friends or family's house. And, what can I say? Much love to you all. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you folks in the new year. Peace.